Welcome back to Blake's Takes, everyone. Thank you again for joining us. And today we have another Film Bros episode. So once again, we have Emma, worse than your average film bro, as she says in her letterboxd bio. We have Jaden, the film bro in the making. We have Berto, co-host of Films from the Phantom Zone. Before we get off into today's episode, which is going to be our top 5 movies of a horror decade that we picked. So we're each going to pick a horror decade, which we did. But we're going to go over our top 5 horror movies of that decade, what we love about that decade, maybe what we don't like about that decade. But before we dive into that, you know, last episode of Film Bros, it was a positive response, more positive than we were expecting. Emma, you were made a star overnight.
Yes, I have many fans.
Your letterbox is kind of popping off. People did like your 4 favorite on letterbox.
I just got 200.
200.
followers.
You hit 200.
Yeah,
Whoa.
so I'm at like, thank you, by the way. I'm very happy because ever since, like when you made a letterbox, I was hella bitter because you had so many followers.
Right.
And I had my letterbox for so long.
You
and
had
I only
since 2017.
I had 50.
Mm-hmm.
And you,
now?
yeah,
I'm at 1,000,
he's
like
over
100.
1,000.
Yeah, I'm at like 1140.
He's over 1,000.
Seems like a bit much.
What's scared at now?
But, you know, thanks to Blake's Takes, I sure did take off
You're gonna
on
be
the
pissed.
letterbox.
You're gonna be pissed. Garrett's at like 547.
Yeah, whatever.
With his 8 films.
8 movies.
He don't
needs
even use it.
He doesn't use it.
He
But he sure loves to brag about how many followers
So you know
he's
what?
to be included.
Because you guys loved Emma's letterbox so much, I'm thinking that I put her letterbox in the Blake's Takes link tree for like 24 hours. So I think maybe I'll do it with everyone's letterbox. You know, everyone just raid their letterbox, give them a follow.
Okay.
You know,
We all have takes for
yeah,
sure.
we all got
I
takes.
think I got like 2 followers.
Like we
from
were
us.
talking about earlier. How much? Wait, what?
Like 2?
You know what? That's
You got
because
a couple
People are
too,
pissed
Jaden.
at me though.
yeah. Well, I mentioned Emma's username in the
That's true,
comments,
too.
and people were like, "Oh, bet." But like we were talking about earlier, you know, we all have those movies where they're like hidden gems to us, and we're kind of pissed that no one else knows about them, so we can't talk about them. So now, if we get more attention on Letterboxd,
Letterboxd is the place to talk about
it
those
is.
movies.
Everyone
yeah.
can then people can enjoy the movies that we enjoy
It's
as
the
well.
place to
Yeah.
be. It's the
Yeah.
place to be.
So spooky season is around the corner. It is late mid-September now. October right around the corner. By the time this episode comes out, it'll probably be early October. But man, Halloween is fucking coming, and I'm excited. This is about to be a horror movie channel. I feel like we don't really get to talk about horror movies that much.
No.
And I love horror's my favorite genre.
You guys should do it more.
I agree
Yeah,
because
it doesn't have to just be a Halloween
Me,
thing.
you're
no,
around.
I know.
Look at
But-
that meat.
The what?
But that's a
Dead meat.
dedicated horror
dead meat.
channel.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I thought you
but,
said
you
look at
know.
that meat.
Okay.
Who's?
Jesus.
But no, I agree because I think people take a look at her channel and wouldn't think that horror is my favorite genre, but
True.
it is.
That is
Yeah.
true.
It is.
On the letterbox, though, you know it's your favorite.
Yeah, Letterboxd,
Yeah.
you know.
If they
People-
dove deeper. But I feel like
Yeah.
on a surface level, it looks like you
Yeah.
only like Marvel.
Star Wars.
Well, I like topical
Yeah.
stuff.
Right.
You're just into geeky shit.
Yeah, but also I feel like, that gets the most attention on social media
It's
as
true.
well. Like, I love talking about horror movies too, but I feel like it doesn't get as much attention as I'd want it,
Right.
as I'd like, Are we fans of the holiday of Halloween?
Super.
I definitely am.
Super.
I think so.
Is it our favorite holiday?
It is.
Really?
Mine, yeah.
Okay. We got
I think,
one.
I think it's up there.
I think it is my favorite. It's
Really?
between that and Christmas.
Yeah,
Okay.
Which are like
same
polar
for,
opposites.
Same
but,
for
you know.
me.
I was not expecting that, to be honest.
Really?
I feel like there's
I
only
love
2
Halloween.
holidays you really
You
can
didn't
be
think it would be
into.
my favorite.
I mean, no, I'd expect that from
Yeah.
Emma. But like Jaden and Berto, I don't know.
I thought Jaden would be more of an Easter guy.
Easter.
What is that? Think I like the fucking Easter bunny? That's
He loves
crazy.
Jesus.
Okay. That's out of pocket. No, I like Christmas and Halloween. Those are my
Okay.
2 favorite. I mean, the other ones are kind of just like whatever.
Yeah.
Free candy, free gifts.
You know, like President's
Whatever.
Day?
What?
President's Day, not your thing?
Jesus.
Columbus Day.
What?
Jaden's a Columbus
it's
Day
actually
guy.
What are
Indigenous
we-
Peoples Day
Oh.
now.
Oh my
Jaden,
God.
you know what? Jaden would be Columbus Day guy. I just feel it.
Oh,
you know?
Fourth
fucking
of
Columbus.
July.
4th of July.
It's a good one.
Actually, that's not a bad one.
Being from a beach town too, I mean, it's only natural.
Also, we're
True,
American.
true.
so-
4th of July,
Yeah.
Labor Day.
4th of
Too.
July tradition. Watch Jaws.
True.
Ooh.
Great 4th of July movie.
Which is a horror movie.
Dude,
we're gonna get into that.
That feels like, because I remember you logged that on Letterboxd.
I
That
did.
feels like just yesterday.
I know. It's crazy.
Wow, that's almost
I know.
4 months ago.
You know what's funny? It's funny you mentioned that
3,
because
sorry.
sometimes I'll go back in my Letterboxd reviews and I'm like, damn, I watched that long ago? It's crazy. No, but Halloween is my favorite holiday. It was Christmas for the longest time, but
Christmas
then
is a good. I like December. Like the month of December.
yeah, the
Sounds good.
Winter time and
Winter
Christmas time is.
yeah.
But we're in
there's something
Florida, so it's
enjoyable
like
about it,
it's
but
not really winter.
But
Right.
I like when it's 40 degrees.
the 2
Yeah.
days out of the year that we get that. Yeah.
exactly. But once horror became my favorite genre, that's when Halloween became my favorite holiday as well. So
Okay.
Fair enough.
It's always been my favorite.
This is
damn.
birth.
I'm different.
Well, I used
Come
to
on, bro. Don't talk this shit already.
Hashtag not like other girls.
Yo.
Bro, Emma just always reminds me, not like a mean way, but it's always like too weird to live, too young to die. Like, that always, like when you go on the persona of like, wait,
You should just tell me to kill myself next
Oh
time.
my god! What is it? You never heard that?
Too weird to live, too young to
It's
die.
like the people who really like people actually believe this, and they're like, "Oh, I'm just so different. Like I'm in the wrong,
okay.
born in the wrong generation." I know persona-wise is what I'm saying. I'm
Not
saying,
that
like,
you're
when you-
actually like that.
No, I'm saying
I was
like when
like-
you say stuff like that, though, that's what I get. I know you're joking. She's like, actually,
She's like, you know what? You're putting that in her head now.
So I had a question. When did we all get into horror?
Shit, I don't know exactly when. I've always been interested in it. Something about it always intrigued me.
Mm-hmm.
But as a kid, like I was legitimately too scared to like
Yeah.
be involved with it. So probably like, I don't know, like when I was hitting like 12, 13 years old, like when I was hitting my teenage years,
Okay.
Hmm.
then I started really liking edgy stuff. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what, horror, I'm going to dive into this now.
Not bad.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks. Yeah.
About 2 weeks ago.
Like we said,
I've-
Jaden's a film bro in the making.
But
so.
I don't even feel like you have to like horror movies. Maybe you do. Maybe be like the Infinity. You gotta
No.
collect all the stones.
No, yeah. Well,
But for me,
Kind
it's
of.
just.
I
you
feel
want to hear
like
something funny?
you want to collect all the stones. I feel like you got to a little bit.
That's what I'm
right?
saying, though.
Yeah.
So you want to hear something funny though?
What?
I actually love the plot of horror movies. I feel like they're so interesting.
They are.
But for me, I'm just a little girl,
Yeah.
and
Like you get too scared?
No, it's like the anticipation of being scared is worse than it actually is.
Oh,
Like, I just hate I hate feeling that, which I know people. That's what they go for, is like that uncomfortableness.
that,
but,
that anxiety.
Yeah, but that gets me more like it's for whatever reason, like I don't know, like usually it's not that bad. Like I don't
Yeah.
freak out that much. But like literally the deer in Get Out scared the shit out of me.
Really?
So it's like, it seems
got
like
me.
you're more scared of getting scared.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I went through Halloween
The
Horror Nights.
anticipation.
Bro.
But Halloween, actually, I worked in a haunted house.
Okay.
Funny enough, I was Peter Pan.
Where
What?
was
Peter
this
Pan
horror?
in a haunted house? What did you do?
It was Haunted Fables or Dark Fables.
Oh.
So it was like, but I had
I don't
a.
want to
Doesn't
know
make
what
any
Peter Pan
sense.
did in a dark universe.
Honestly, we can talk about this later because it's a really funny story that I probably shouldn't get into. But let's just say I was British
Okay.
Oh, fuck.
because I didn't like talking in my voice. I didn't think it was scary, so I just started making fun of kids because I wasn't scary. So I started roasting kids in a British. It's
Oh, it's
So
good.
you bullied
That's good.
strangers.
Yeah, that's
they
good.
loved it though. They loved it. But 2 weeks ago, just
2 weeks
about.
ago.
2 weeks ago.
All right.
Emma's gonna say
I-
it's out of the womb.
Not out
In
of the
womb,
womb.
bro.
No,
She had
no.
a 50 inch in that bitch.
I wasn't out the womb, but I was pretty young, to be
Yeah.
honest. Because
Okay.
I watched Saw when I was like 8.
Okay.
Nah.
You came up with this last
That is
night.
quite young.
No, so Saw, I recently watched Saw, and that's only because when I was young, like I forget how old, probably around 8, 9 years old, I saw a scene from Saw 2. And I think, now you remind me if this is in Saw 2, when that one person has to stick their hand in the wall and it like crushes their hand or something. Oh, come on.
They might have one of those in all the movies.
I just watched it last
I
night,
know.
too.
That sounds like something from
Okay,
the Mummy.
either
I don't
way,
know.
I saw a
Literally.
scene from one of the Saw movies,
Oh.
and that made me never want to watch a Saw
Oh,
movie
it
ever
was like
again.
the opposite for me because I saw the behind the scenes from Saw 2, like how they built the needle pit
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
trap. And then I was like, oh, I want to watch this. I'm 90% sure my dad had them on DVD, and I think one of my siblings like put it on for me.
Mm. See, none of my parents were into like horror movies.
We
as
had a
well.
huge DVD
Mm.
collection when I was growing up. So I think that's also why I'm into movies in general. Because I also saw Pan's Labyrinth when I was super young,
Mm.
which scared the fuck out
Were
of
you
me.
able to understand what was happening?
Fuck no, I couldn't read the captions fast enough. But it sure was scary. I was just like, what is going on?
That's a very good movie.
But yeah, so pretty young, but not like, it's not like out the womb, but it's kind of out the womb.
That's what I think I love though about like your movie viewing is like, because I know you said Saul's like the plot is like okay, but you love the art that goes behind it.
It's nostalgic for me, which is
but
weird.
I do.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I'm saying, but like everything that went into the movie is like goes into why she loves it.
Yeah.
Too.
Like the production and the
I
the
just
two
started
paper
watching
clips.
The 2 paper clips,
Yeah.
even though it was like a kind of a bigger budget than maybe you would expect. But horror movies
Was
generally have
small.
really,
It was under a
really
million, though,
low.
No, it was like
yeah.
$1 million.
It's 1.2.
Okay.
mil.
that's like Zombievers.
Bro.
Zombievers wasted the entire budget on that opening shot.
On the opening shot of John Mayer and fucking Bill Burr.
I when you posted the review, I was so happy because I used to watch Zombievers every Halloween night in middle school while it was on Netflix. I was so happy because nobody knows, like, not nobody knows about this movie, but like nobody knows like what this movie
It's kind of
means
almost like
to me.
it's almost kind of like a Thanksgiving, you know?
Well, like our friend Mike
It's so
co-host
funny,
put
bro.
it on for us.
Right.
And
He was like, just shut the fuck up and watch.
yeah.
And we got done watching, and I'm like, okay, there's no way this movie was made for like more than fucking $50,000. 1.5 million, bro.
What the fuck?
And you know how much it made? It made like 46,000. It was such a loss. But
here's
yeah,
the thing, it was
It's
enjoyable. It
garbage.
wasn't
Oh, but
enjoyable.
it's
absolutely
fun.
enjoyable.
It's so fun.
It's one of those movies that's so terrible. It's
and
enjoyable.
especially when you're a kid, like if you're 13, that shit, it blows me out of the water. I was so
I
happy.
think that's why I like Thanksgiving so much. I saw it when I
think
was
Thanksgiving
very
is
young,
better.
and I
Thanksgiving is
watched. I'm like, this is
movie's-
amazing.
Have you ever seen
and Thanksgiving was made for $3,000.
Have you ever seen the? I think it's the same person who did Thanksgiving, but there's an Evil Bong movie. You ever seen this?
Oh,
Evil
you know what?
Bong?
Why does that sound familiar?
I don't know if it's called Evil Bong, but it's this movie where it's this.
about an evil
They literally
bong.
so there's 4 or 5 roommates and there's like 10 of them. It's like the movie series. I think it's the same director as Thanksgiving. I could be wrong, but he has like 20 of these weird ass movies. But there's 5
Is
people.
Rubber one of them?
I don't remember. But there's 4 or 5 people living in this loft. Like it's just one room and they all live in this room together.
Sounds like California.
But there's a bong and they buy it and then they hit it and the bong takes them to like a spirit world and it kills them.
What the?
And it's
Fucking
crazy,
awesome.
bro. 'Cause
Bro,
it sucks their spirit out when they're
Yeah.
high.
It's
It's like
B
this.
horror meets Freddy Krueger.
Bro, I just Thanksgiving it reminded me of that shit. It's just a goofy ass
You would
movie.
think,
Yeah.
because Zombievers came out in 2014, right?
I've never seen it.
It came out in 2014, $1.5 million budget. You would think it would have better effects than Thanksgiving. It was like on that
It's like
same
on
level,
par.
bro.
Yeah.
I think it's actually worse.
It very much so could
Some
be.
of the makeup
You know,
is really good.
Well, but
Yeah.
when she's like half
Yes.
human, half
Yeah.
beaver.
Yeah.
That shit
That was pretty good.
that had me out my pants when I was
It's
like
fucking
13.
That was pretty good makeup.
I was like, what is happening?
So
But yeah, they spent most of that budget on John Mayer and Bill Burr right in the beginning.
just
apparently,
sitting in a truck.
well, apparently it was filmed on like a Disneyland lot as well. So I'm sure that
Are
cost
you
a lot.
kidding?
No, I swear
didn't
to
know
God.
that.
Yeah, it
Why'd
was,
they do that?
it was like
It's
filmed on
probably
a Disneyland
all
ranch.
on location. The SFX for that one, the fucking half human, half beaver scene.
Yeah.
That's
Because
where
the
most
puppets
of
of
it-
the actual beavers looked like garbage.
Yes.
Even the puppeteers suck too because they're
Yeah.
just like
Yes.
it was.
okay, so
It was
It's
laughable.
wild.
Going
It is a
back to
wild
this-
time. I recommend it though.
going
It's
back to this
good.
tangent.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Have you ever seen Puppet Masters? That familiar to you? Bro, so this guy
It
has-
sounds familiar, but I haven't
So
seen it.
I wanted to see. I'm sorry, going back to the Evil Bong thing. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but this guy has Puppet Masters, but he has the Gingerbread Man. So this is Evil Bong. I'll show
Oh, it's
you.
actually
is that what
called
the bong?
Evil
Why does it
Bong.
look like Humpty Dumpty?
I swear to God, it's called
Fuck
Evil
yeah.
Bong. But hold on,
Damn.
that's not even
See,
that's not even the best part.
These are the
though.
type of the movies that you need to watch.
There's an Evil
in the
Bong
world.
3.
What? That means
There's
there's a
Evil
second
Bong,
one.
Evil Bong versus Gingerbread Man.
Whoa. Does he have a cinematic universe?
Yeah, he has
Wait.
his own extended universe.
Corona Zombies. That's from 2020.
Well, you know-
topical.
You know, Thanksgiving goes from Thanksgiving 1 and it skips the second one, goes straight to Thanksgiving 3 in outer space.
And the joke of the movie is that there's no second movie.
Hey, I didn't see that
Sorry,
one.
no more Evil Bong. I thought it was interesting because that shit is like I watched it and I was like, what the fuck is going on? It
Oh.
made me uncomfortable, but I just had to get that out of my system. Horror movies, you know.
Here's the thing: these are like horror comedies almost.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's not even.
it's-
It's just because it kills. Like
Right.
right, you know, like
Yeah.
in a supernatural
Yeah.
way. It's a horror movie, but
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
really. It's more just like a fuck off movie.
But that's the other question: is like what constitutes a horror movie?
Right.
Yeah.
Does horror comedy count, or do some
That's the
thrillers
thing.
count if they have
What is a
enough
horror comedy?
horror elements?
Like an example.
Something like
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
True.
Like,
it has
I think
comical
House of a
outfits.
Thousand Corpses is kind of a horror comedy.
I'll never force myself to watch that movie.
Little
And
Shop
then
of Horrors.
Little Shop and like all the scary movies are like horror comedy.
Right.
Scary movies though, those are like a spoof on the genre itself.
Yeah.
But would you like lump it in there with the horror
That's
comedies?
the thing, because in my decade there was a lot of horror comedies. I didn't include them in my list though because I didn't think it'd be fair to the actual like horror movies, especially since there's so many good ones.
Right.
Yeah,
It
that's
almost like dilute.
But like those scary movies are so you couldn't make
They're
that shit
funny as
anymore. They're
hell, huh?
funny as fuck. They are. But like there's so many, obviously horror themes because it is a spoof, but it's just it makes it funny
Because
though.
they just reference a bunch of famous ones. It's like the whole like thing.
Yeah.
But my question is, what makes a true horror movie? Because I always get confused. I always mix up horror thriller with each other, and then also if a movie has like horror elements, I consider it in the genre.
Yeah.
Because some people won't watch it because they're like, oh, I don't want to be scared.
Right. Yeah. Because I could see that too.
Because there's even some like children's movies that have horror elements.
Like Coraline.
Yeah. Yes.
People are like, oh, Coraline is a horror movie.
It's like
okay.
It like kind of is, but like, do we count it? I don't know.
Scooby Doo, Spooky Island.
Spooky Island.
The live action Scooby Doo's, are those horror?
Right. Scooby Doo.
Where do you
mystery?
draw the line?
Scooby Doo's horror movie.
They got horror elements.
Because I think
They
sometimes
definitely do.
They have the elements for it.
That's a whole other ballpark.
You got fucking.
Yeah.
Well, you got Monster House. That's like legitimately a horror
Yeah.
movie made for
honestly,
kids.
though,
So
I think horror movie can be defined as anything that, because then you can. I know it kind of is not really.
Well, because then you could
concise,
kind of
but-
lump in like Jurassic Park and.
But here, I'm
there's
saying
a lot
like
of things.
an uncomfortable feeling. Like for example, like when you're watching. I don't consider Parasite a horror movie, but it might as well be because that shit made me so
that's what I mean,
uncomfortable.
though. It's a thriller.
Well, I would say
Scared the
that's
shit
more.
out of me.
There is one.
See,
There's a scary
that's
scene in
where it
Parasite.
gets kind of
Yes.
like what is it?
Yeah, so
whatever
I
your
feel
heart
like I lump
desires.
Saying
everything
horror
together.
is like very broad.
Because
like
at least for me, I consider like Parasite, Old Boy, and like one of the films that I have on my list, I would consider more of a thriller than a horror movie. But it scared me. And I think if it sets out to make you feel uncomfortable or scared, that makes it a horror.
Yeah.
But I feel like people only think it's like, oh, blood, guts, slasher
Right.
type of stuff.
I think it's more in the concept of like what's happening in the movie.
Or even like if it just has elements of like supernatural stuff. Does that make it a horror movie though, or is it just a drama
With supernatural horror elements?
Yes, with horror elements. What does that even mean?
Well, because it's like, do people consider
guess
like
so.
Crimson Peak a horror movie?
Yes, right.
Because I know some people that do and some people that don't.
It does have horror elements.
It does, but is it like?
and it's like a timepiece.
Is that what it sets out to do, or is it just a part of the story that they're trying to
It's
tell?
unsettling.
Yeah,
I get
so it's
frustrated
like
like trying to think about what horror means to me.
it's such a gray area.
Because everybody has a different definition.
Yeah.
So I feel like boxed in almost by like other people.
Yeah, I just feel like there's not a true horror movie because I feel like for any genre in that sense, they all blend. Like there's even like, for example,
Or like monster
Here's the thing:
movies.
most horror movies turn into like almost like an action thriller in the third act.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. But you can. So are you gonna say like action movies that have jokes in it? Is that an action comedy? Probably not. It's not an action movie.
I mean,
but it has like
it's all-
I think it would
elements.
depend on. I think it
think-
depends on how much
But-
it focuses on the jokes.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
bro.
Rush Hour.
Rush Hour is a comedy.
That's a comedy. But
That's
I'm
an
saying,
action
But there's a
comedy.
lot of action.
but like for example,
it has fucking Jackie Chan action, bro.
that's what I'm saying. Though.
So it's
but
an-
like,
it's an
how about this?
action
But then,
comedy.
for example,
Comedy.
Mission Impossible, the whole series, it's very action packed.
But I don't think there's that many jokes.
They have
wouldn't-
Simon Pegg in the series.
Right,
You know what I
but
mean? Like
I wouldn't
They also
consider
have Tom
those-
Cruise in Tropic Thunder, you know?
I wouldn't consider
That's a
Mission
comedy.
Impossible
That's a comedy.
action comedy. It'd be action.
But-
It's just
but-
action thriller.
But I'm saying,
I
but
think
that's
it just-
my point, though. Is what I'm saying is that like it's
Yeah.
hard. Like a true horror movies, I feel like you have to kind of blend from other
yeah,
things.
unless like you're just talking about like The Exorcist or something where it's just
Well, I
straight
guess
up
it
like
depends on what it leans
Right.
into
That's
most.
straight up horror.
yeah,
right.
Like Train to Busan. This is what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
sad as
Train
shit.
to Busan. That's a drama to me.
Yeah,
but there's
Bitch,
some people
I
that be like,
cry
this
like
is
a baby.
Right, right. But it's also a zombie movie.
It is.
But
So
I don't
I
think
don't
a
know how
zombie
to
movie
is
feel.
like a
but zombie doesn't mean horror.
Well, here's
like
the thing.
look at
Do you
Shaun of the
consider
Dead.
like Shaun of the Dead is a
Well,
horror
that's a horror
comedy?
comedy.
Well, I know, but
And it advertises itself as such.
Do you know what though about the horror thing? I think it's one of those things that's hard to explain, but we all know what a horror movie is.
Yeah.
But putting it into words is kind of hard.
It's like something that you feel, which sounds
Yeah.
really cheesy
but
and
it
weird.
is.
But
You're right. Like
It's
you know
whatever
what I mean?
it means to you.
yeah.
But
well,
but,
art
you
is
know.
subjective, so
Right.
That's
That's
why we're fucking talking right now because
I guess
It's
that's the
subjective.
point I was trying to make, is that there's no true definition.
Right.
So I can validate my list for later.
Okay, good.
Now, don't say like 21 Jump Street's a horror movie or something like that.
21
but-
Jump Street ain't even in my decade, so let's calm it down.
All right, yeah.
It could
Speaking
be a
of decade,
horror if you're
American-
like a Kanye
American
fan.
Psycho 2.
with Mila Kunis.
I've never seen it. I don't really know if
I
I
haven't
want
seen
to.
that one.
You ever seen American?
Fuck no.
Never
I'm
seen
not
what?
wasting my time on it.
American Psycho 2.
I have not seen that.
Second one, no.
Most people don't know.
It doesn't seem like something I'd be interested in watching.
No, it's some hot garbage.
Yeah.
There's no Patrick Bateman. I'm cool.
Yeah. Got to return some videotapes.
Come on, bro.
Uh,
I'm saying read the book though. Seriously. If you
I'm
wanna be
considering
freaked- If
it.
you want to be
Dude, we
freaked
gotta
I need
pass
to
it.
finish Dune first, but
well, I didn't get into horror.
Oh, we forgot about you.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Shit.
So, horror became my favorite genre probably about 2 or 3 years ago, maybe even more so 2. But I really started getting into slashers around freshman year of college, and that's why I always, Halloween everything for like me loving horror, and why it's my favorite franchise is because that's the franchise that got me into horror. Those slashers, they're not scary.
Hey,
That's
you
how I
started
feel
getting
about
into
Saw
horror when I
too.
met you.
Right.
I know it's bad. I don't
Yeah.
care.
No,
I'm sure
there's
it's
No,
decent.
it's what you enjoy. Like,
yeah, no,
That's
there's
all that
movies.
matters.
There's bad movies in the Halloween franchise that I just adore.
Yes.
And I actually find good things about it. But I was terrified of horror movies as a kid. I wanted nothing to do with them. I hated going. I would not go to like Halloween Horror Nights. Like that was not
You're a
for
little
me.
baby.
I was a little bitch.
But that's still me.
Yeah.
I'm still in that phase.
it's fine. You'll grow into it. Come to
You'll grow
Halloween
into it.
Horror Nights with me.
You're getting through
Absolutely.
it.
You're like the worst person to go to Halloween Horror Nights with.
Why?
I feel like it's not important. Continue.
But no, yeah. So I started getting into the slashers, and that really just like, all right, segued me into getting into some other subgenres of horror. And so, yeah, I mean, even though it's still relatively new, once I got into horror, I didn't take that foot off the gas pedal.
Oh God, you watched one before the pod.
I did, which
I did
actually made my. Or I'm not gonna say anything.
Oh,
really?
Oh shit! Hang on.
I didn't see the movie, so you're okay.
I think Emma did.
I did see the.
It's not gonna- it's not
I'm
gonna-
a letterboxd troll, so
Yeah.
It's not gonna, I saw it, but I don't remember what it
Okay,
was.
okay,
I didn't know what
okay.
it was. It doesn't matter.
I saw your transformation into becoming a horror fan.
Did you?
When I met you, you're
Whoa.
like, oh, I love Christmas. Christmas is everything to me.
He was a jolly fellow.
You know what? Yeah, because we moved in together
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I wasn't.
It's like your transition.
Like I was
year.
still into the Halloween. I was still into like the slashers, but that was it.
That was it.
That was
Like
it.
anything more than that, you're like, nah.
Yeah,
Our friend joked that his house was haunted and you got scared.
I did.
So you're
I
saying
wasn't fucking with that.
all I need is to just move in with Berto and I'll like horror movies?
No,
I mean,
Sounds like-
maybe
sounds like
there's
the
a
rest- sounds like
connection
the
there.
recipe.
I think Berto is just.
It sounds like the recipe.
I bring out people's true selves.
Yeah.
But no, I actually thought you'd like horror movies for longer. I didn't realize it was
No.
literally a couple years.
Not that long.
4 years? It's not that long. Or like
no,
two.
not that long. But
Bro,
now
I'm
now I'm gonna
scared
get
now.
now I'm gonna get a horror movie tattoo eventually.
That's your
Crazy.
first one's gonna
That's
be?
From
gonna
our
be my
friend,
first one.
Sable
First
Studio.
one.
Yeah, from Sable Studio.
Sable Studio, shout out.
And it's gonna be
shout out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they all got tats from Sable Studio. And it's gonna be Halloween.
That's what we should talk about too, is how horror movies have become lazy, it feels like. It could, I mean, unless you disagree, but it definitely like
I think as time went on, they
Lately,
started
yeah.
to become lazy.
when
But
big
I
studios get behind it.
also feel like they're sort of going through a little renaissance
They
right now.
they are they
Yeah.
are.
That's
they are.
fair.
And what do they call it like these days? It's like Gen Z's name for horror movies. It's like elevated horror.
What the fuck?
elevated or indie horror.
Yeah, it's like
elevated horror,
yeah,
yeah.
Gen-
I heard
What's,
about
what's
that.
elevated
like
about it?
Hereditary.
Yeah.
What's elevated
Where it's
about
like
that over
all,
like
it's like there's it's basically like a gigantic think piece
Right.
because Hereditary is like, oh, there's so many layers.
so it's like
To
horror
this.
for
It's stuff that you don't understand.
for snobby people.
like you
Yes,
know how,
yes.
yeah,
It's like
for
Film
snobby
Bros
people.
horror.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I feel like, I guess Hereditary is kind of like that.
Yeah.
This movie's very
Hereditary
elevated.
and all of Ari Aster's movies, honestly, are,
Right.
But that's
are
just-
just like giant think pieces. Like I saw Bo's Afraid and I was just like, dude,
Bro,
what in
Hereditary
the
still
hell are you
keeps
trying to
out.
tell me right now? Because my brain just got melted into a puddle for like 3.5 hours.
Oh, that's like Wes Anderson films too.
No, but it's in a good way
I've
when
only
you
seen
watch Ari
one.
Aster. It's
Oh,
visually.
is it not in a good way with Wes Anderson?
no, it usually isn't.
Bro, she's about to drop from 200 to 20.
My bad. I really like Grand Budapest Hotel.
Please.
Oh,
I like Fantastic Mr. Fox.
oh, me too.
I haven't seen
That's
this
a
since I
good
was a kid. Okay, horror though.
Okay, so for today's episode, we did each pick our own decade. And
Or bullied.
and want to talk about our top 5 movies from that decade, or bullied. Because originally I was like, why don't we each pick our own favorite decade? But then, that
We all had the same favorite.
I think I was the only one that,
No,
that was
yeah.
different.
I was the only one that had.
I think me and Berto had the same favorite.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, you can have it.
Yeah.
I want the 70s.
And I was
And
like,
then
fuck
Blake
you.
was like,
I
no.
want the
Blake was like,
70s.
no.
That's
No.
verbatim
the conversation that happened.
So he said, fuck you, die. And then I said, fine.
So
I'll choose my third
you'll
option.
settle for
yeah,
it.
I'll
so
settle.
Emma has the 90s. Jaden has 2010s.
2019.
Okay, yes, that's 2010s.
2019 is still in the 2010s.
I just want
Yes.
to make sure, man. We're not going because what if we went to 2023? You know.
What?
No.
Then it'd be
Then that'd
going
be
into the
2020s.
2020s.
Okay.
Do you know how decades work?
Fuck me, I guess. Go ahead.
So Berto has the 80s and I have the 70s. So we're each going to give you our top 5 of that decade, dive into what we like, and we'll give some honorable mentions as well. All right. So first up, we got.
No, absolutely not.
Look, he's scared. He's scared.
I'm not scared, but it's just like,
First up, we got 2010s.
bro, I've never seen horror movies. Why are you gonna make the newbie go?
That's
Okay.
why you have to go first.
That's why you have to go first. It's
And
your
it'll make
hazing.
all of us
Okay,
look
fine,
bad.
It's your
fine,
hazing.
And-
Fine.
This is Jaden's top 5 horror movies of 2010s. Now, cut him some slack. He's a relatively new fan
They're
of the
good
horror
ones,
genre.
though.
All right.
Trust me, I think they're amazing.
All right.
I'm gonna get the first 2 like most well-known ones out of the way.
Okay.
Just because I don't know, I feel like they have to be on the list because they're just so damn good. The first one though, I watched the other week. And this is kind of like that thriller thing, but Get Out.
Yes.
Holy moly, phenomenal! Just the way it made me feel, and it's like such an important movie too.
Yeah.
But for like the genre, for everything, so I love Get Out. It's my first Jordan Peele movie out of the 3 that he has. But
Well, it's his first too, so.
true, his
So,
debut.
Yeah, his great debut.
But no, yeah, Get Out was amazing.
Would you say, now that you've seen it, because honestly, in the comments on TikTok, I see so many people say it's like overrated and that it's a movie that you can only watch once, which I watched.
That's what I think.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But I watched it like 10 times in 1 year. Do you think it's a movie that you can see yourself rewatching?
10 times.
Yes.
I think so. I think, to be fair though, I still think you can appreciate like the feeling that I have for the movie now. Even if I watched it a couple more times and I hated it, I still were gonna remember what I felt the first time. And
Right.
like not every it's because I'm not gonna watch like a bad movie and then watch it a bunch of times and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's still a great movie because at one point I thought it was amazing. But I feel like if you watch
Okay.
anything a couple times, like especially horror movies are hard to rewatch. Like I saw people saying that about like some movies. you
Some
know?
of
Yeah.
them lose a little bit when you already
Right.
know what's going to happen.
Because I feel like with also most
Like
people,
The Conjuring.
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people with the big,
Mine.
Emma's hot take.
the big franchises is that it's like nostalgia though, like Friday the 13th,
Right.
all
Like
that.
the Halloween movies, I can rewatch all day.
But you're not gonna go rewatch like I think of like Killer Clowns from Outer Space or
People rewatch it all the time.
I would say more
But I
like.
think-
yeah, that's maybe it's a bad example
I
actually.
think the older ones give you a different feeling than like I've
Oh, like new
rewatched
school?
Hereditary a couple times.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, the first time I watched Hereditary, I immediately went back and I bought a ticket to see it again.
Oh,
my
shit.
God.
Oh, so you were
because
just
I
like,
didn't understand anything that just happened to me.
You're in a repeat offender.
But then when I watched it, like, a few more times
Okay.
after that, I was like, okay, it like lost the appeal.
like you
Okay.
got
not
what you
lost
needed
the
out
appeal
of
like
it.
it's bad, but
Yeah.
lost the appeal like, oh, I don't like now I know what's happening to me
I think
because
a good example for what you're saying is like The Witch. I don't think people are like, oh, I need to rewatch that again.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like it's a
So-
good movie, but
I can finally say this because I've been watching. I probably watched. It's an abnormal amount, but I think I've watched 20 or 25 horror movies in the last like
Wow.
2 weeks.
okay,
for
so
you.
you've
Okay,
actually
so
been
you've
like,
been pumping
them
I
out.
am impressed. All from the 2010s or just
Yeah,
okay.
2010s.
Wow,
Okay.
okay.
So The Witch was one of those,
Okay.
and it's not on my list.
Okay.
Just spoiler alert.
Okay.
But I was just saying, I can say that I've actually watched it now because I was getting no spoilers.
Would you say like
out.
it's a good movie, but it's just not something that you'd want to revisit or?
yeah. Answer the question.
I think it's a good movie. It's an honorable mention. That was gonna go on
Okay,
the
Oh,
list.
yeah.
okay.
Okay.
All right.
But for me though, like especially in the 2010s, in such like for whatever reason, the 2010s are stacked with cult stuff.
Yeah.
So like for me, like it's definitely like it's a slow burn, but not in a bad way. Like it's a good like you watch it and it moves along and it's very interesting. It's kind of like that witchcraft type thing where they
Yes.
all accuse each other and it's really realistic too. I don't know if you guys know this, but when the set was built obviously for the movie out in the woods, but they used techniques from
Robert Eggers always does that.
Yeah. So
By the
it's
way.
pretty cool. I don't know if you guys know that.
I thought you were gonna say, did you know that in the 1800s,
No. I'm just saying, like, you
people
can,
were accused of being witches.
but you can appreciate that for like a movie, and so I really, I like the movie a lot. I just didn't quite crack that top
No,
5.
and that's fair.
Yes,
Because there's a lot of that in my decade too. So,
but I think if I watch, I don't think I would like it as much if I watched the movie again.
okay.
But it's still really good.
I think The Witch has actually
She's
really,
like, I watched it 20 times in a
no,
week.
really, really good rewatch value.
I've only seen it once, so I don't know.
Number 2.
Number 2, this is the other one that I think hopefully will come at no surprise to people because this shit it terrified me so much.
Oh,
I mean, you're gonna know it's Hereditary.
Oh, okay.
Naturally, you have to put Hereditary on the list if you're talking about cult movies.
well, it's also I think one of the best of that decade.
Yeah, it honestly like it's very creepy, but I think it does a lot more psychological damage than you really realize the first time you watch it.
Yeah.
Because you really are just watching this family get fucking ripped to pieces, and it's just hard. And like I think, and this is not a hot take, but I think it's a very bold take. But the scene where Charlie has her head out the window and gets fucking hit. When I tell you, because I was watching this on my TV,
My
not
jaw
my phone,
dropped, bro.
bro. I think that has to be one of the most like
Shocking.
crazy things I've ever seen on my TV screen in my life.
My jaw dropped first.
You know what's
And-
crazy too is in the trailers for Hereditary, they made it seem like the entire movie was about Charlie.
Yeah.
From what I remember, it's like it's all it
Yeah.
looks
It
like it's
only
all
shows-
about her.
Yes.
And then when I went to watch it,
Yeah.
I was like, she dies within the first fucking 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Or 30
Yeah.
minutes.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, what in the fuck is about to
No,
happen
because
to
I
me?
remember
That's
seeing
good
that
marketing.
trailer.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that
Yeah.
trailer. Like you saw the trailer, you saw her doing her little.
Yeah.
You saw her looking at the bird, and
That movie's so
You're like,
good.
ooh,
You thought she was
Creepy
gonna be like,
kids.
yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Let's talk also about how the fuck that grandma, bro.
Hey, fuck Joan and
she
fuck
She
what's
set
her
that
name?
family up.
Yeah,
That is crazy.
Miss Joan and Miss Edith. I don't know her name.
To be fair
the
though,
mom.
I think I do need to rewatch. I'll probably rewatch it again because there's so many things that like you miss in that movie that I've seen.
a movie like that.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many, and I will say that the scene where they are, like, it's like towards like the end of the third act almost, and he's about to become like actually get possessed by
Oh,
Payman?
Peter. Yeah.
And all the naked people are just outside the house, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden they're in
And they're
there.
in the house.
Oh,
And then
Yeah.
that shit's it is bananas.
That's why I had to go back, buy the next ticket to the next, like
Bro.
literally the next showing.
and then also those.
I need to see
It
this
was
again.
already starting
Bro, the
by the
scene
time I walked
also
in.
where Toni Collette is banging her head because you're like, how the fuck did she get
on
up
the
there?
attic.
It's crazy. And
Talk
like, dude,
about
I
Toni
thought
Collette getting snubbed.
that is might be the biggest tragedy of the modern age.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Not even a nomination, bro.
Not even like a hey, good job.
Well, she wasn't
Like-
like Hereditary didn't get shortlisted for anything either.
Yeah,
No,
horror is
yeah.
just overlooked
No,
in the Academy.
horror,
That's a
like-
whole other conversation
Well,
later.
I don't think critics tend to just not like horror movies.
It's true.
They think they're not saying anything.
It's true.
Saying
No,
anything.
a lot of horror movies are commentary.
I think so too.
Yeah, but
Hereditary is a giant commentary,
mhm.
and so is Midsummer.
So for my third movie, I feel like you're not going to be surprised, but you
Okay.
guys might.
Okay.
I talk about this movie a lot. My third movie, there's no particular order, by the way. This
Yeah,
is just,
no,
yeah.
that's yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But for my third movie is going to be Sinister.
Okay.
Because
That's a fucking
The
great
first
movie.
No,
one.
no
Not the second
surprise,
one.
really, because I mean, you're an Ethan Hawke boy.
I am,
You're
so
an
I
Ethan
am an
Hawke
Ethan
boy.
Hawke boy, but
That's a-
I think that movie
It's
is
very well made.
genuinely terrifying. And also, it kind of sucks, but the director of what's called the director of Sinister is the same, I believe, the same director for Black Phone. And the
Okay.
only reason Ethan Hawke became a villain because there's this whole thing he didn't want to, because once you're seen as a villain, like, you know,
yeah.
like Jack Nickel in The Shining, it's like hard to, or it's Jack
Right. Jack
Jack
Nicholson.
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 Jack Nichols.
Bro, you know what's so funny? I've never seen a movie with him in it. I don't think.
Holy shit.
You haven't seen him as
Wait.
like old Joker?
Yeah, you haven't
Nope.
seen Batman?
Nope.
Wow.
Nope. Anyway,
He's
Damn.
overrated as Joker, by the way. I've
As
talked
Joker.
about this on my
But
podcast.
he's an
Oh.
amazing
but-
actor.
with
But he is a good
I mean,
actor.
when you have Heath, okay, that's not what we're here to talk about though.
Well, I like Mark Hamill Joker too
Well, yeah.
Well, he's
obviously.
Mark
the
Hamill
goat.
was the Joker.
in the
Yes,
cartoons.
bro, in the cartoon.
Oh, the voice.
He voiced
the
the
voice.
Joker
Oh,
for
I-
like 20 years. dude.
I thought you meant. Look,
Oh, not live action.
That would be
No, 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 no,
He
no.
was the
crazy.
trickster in live action.
But I love the
Oh.
Batman cartoons.
Mhm.
Hell yeah.
But for Sinister, I think there's a lot of. I think a lot of the cinematics of it are beautiful because he's up a lot,
Mm.
and also like just like the feeling you get from like viewing it. And I also love like all the small like little jokes they have in it. Like there's one where his wife is like, "Don't tell me we moved down the street from a murder house again." He's like, "No, because they're in the fucking murder house." You know what I mean? Like it's so funny. And like Ethan Hawke delivers it perfectly.
Yeah.
And also, I'm sorry, like I forget what the name is. I think there's a stupid name. Do you remember the name for is it like Boogeyman or like it is something silly?
Is it Boogeyman?
No, I don't think it's Boogeyman.
I haven't seen it since it came out, but I just remember loving
silly.
the movie.
No, but it is a goofy ass
Yeah.
name. I'll have to look for it later. But then also, killer kids are like terrifying because you see all these tragedies, and then later you see all the kids cut to themselves, and then he has like this merry-go or like a band of horror kids that follow him, and it's just like it's terrifying. That movie, yeah, that's also the one movie, like the kill count for.
Yeah.
I cannot watch. Like it spooks me in the kill
Really?
count. Yeah, is that I don't know why, but
Did that movie like stick with you?
oh, you mean like after I watched
Yeah.
it, like mentally?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Every time someone brings up like a horror movie that's genuinely scary, a lot of people always bring up Sinister.
Sinister is
It's
terrifying.
You
one of the
think
few
so?
that does that, I feel like. Yeah.
A lot of people bring it up.
I think so. I thought it was terrifying. Sinister
Yes.
2, unfortunately, different directors, and they just wanted money. I'm assuming.
Right.
I don't know.
It's basically the same
yeah.
thing. Maybe you should. When's the last time you rewatched it?
Oh, years ago.
I'd recommend giving it
I would
another
recommend
watch.
giving it a watch. Just
I
going
think,
into it with an open
but I
palate.
also think that when I first watched Sinister, I was probably like an angsty teenager. I had
Oh.
to be 17. And it's because I was going through my Ethan Hawke filmography.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Not a
and
bad
I was
phase
like,
to be
what the
in.
fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I just watched the Before trilogy. I was like, this is garbage.
I have an
True.
Ethan Hawke question that's semi-related to horror. Have you seen Daybreakers?
No.
Oh.
I didn't go through the whole
It's-
filmography.
It's an interesting movie. Ethan Hawke's a vampire in it.
Okay.
Sounds kind of nice.
I didn't realize like how many horror movies Ethan Hawke is actually in.
He likes it.
Yeah.
It
Like I
seems
said,
like it.
Black Phone
at
was his
least.
first
No,
villain.
his daughter's a star in Stranger Things also.
True.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
also weird.
Man, I love Ethan Hawke.
Shout out.
Shout out to Ethan Hawke.
That was my third one, right?
Yeah, that was your
Okay.
third one.
So I'm trying to like get along with this so much. My fourth movie probably is It Follows.
Okay.
Let's fucking go.
Have you guys seen this movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making
Yes.
sure.
We have very divisive opinions.
So I know you guys don't like it.
I
as
would
much
say I
as-
don't dislike
Yeah.
it. I just like.
I
I'm
just
just
want
like,
you guys to picture though. Imagine that situation where it's always following you, and it's also not about like the fact of it is it's not like a super horror movie in the sense of like it's almost like damn near a fucking slasher in a way because it's like it's kind
in
of
a way.
like
yeah.
you know what I mean. But between the kind of like backyard footage of it, the city they're in, and because they're in Detroit, so it's like the scenes they use are beautiful. The score is fucking insane. and-
Magnificent,
in
right?
every single
Thank
way
you.
possible.
Score's good.
The characters
Score's
are
good.
the characters are really relatable. They're really funny.
I just like
Um,
it when a movie feels like it's fucking crawling towards me
No, and that's the
while
thing
I'm
is like,
watching it.
but that's
It's
what.
so it's disgusting. I love it.
So I want.
See,
I want to let you hold on real
I
quick.
really enjoy the fear of the unknown.
So that's the thing is. So this is what I'm sorry. I'll let you guys get your piece in because I don't
No,
want to
it's
like just
fine, it's
defend
fine.
it. But the thing about it too is that I love that the movie doesn't have to rely on like scaring you in traditional ways.
right.
But and they call the thing it's called It. Like that is what it is, right? Like
Right.
It Follows. And they never specify like they don't go into like the backstory of it because they don't have to. It's just genuinely fucking
and that's
creepy.
stuff I liked about it. I
Yeah.
didn't dislike the movie.
I'm saying, but for the
I'm just-
2010s,
I think what made me just not super impressed with it is before I watched it, people were talking about it as if it was the greatest horror movie ever made.
it is put on a very
I went
high
in with
pedestal.
very high expectations, which
I
kind
don't agree
of
with that.
I don't know. I
But
don't,
it is one of my
Bro,
like,
everyone
personal.
puts it like
it's put on a
Yeah.
pedestal,
Up there.
man.
But I think I don't think it would be like number 1, 2, or even 3. But I think it could
Mhm.
crack a top 5 or even a top 10 list.
Okay.
Like I think it is very unique. Like how many other movies are there like that? And I might
Right.
be wrong.
I
Maybe
guess
not.
Smile.
and
maybe
you-
on a handful
well,
of
and
good
you-
movies like
right.
that.
And you've seen
But Smile also came out
I was about
after.
to say,
Yeah.
and you've seen a few movies try to copy it or
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
themes from
Yeah,
it as well.
the entire concept of it is very
Right.
good.
Right.
But like also,
But also, yeah, because it was on there was a study that's saying It Follows was like literally based off of like people's average heartbeat per
Mm.
minute. That it
Yeah.
was the scariest
It-
movie.
it's
I
based
never
on
felt
their-
that though.
no, like
'Cause
it
it's
never
based on
hit me like that
paranoia.
either.
right.
Yeah, but I think there's better movies that have done paranoia. And
not as consistently throughout.
I'm gonna talk about one, but
Okay.
Okay.
So this last one, I'm really excited about because I love. This is the one I was telling you about, Revenge.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm gonna be like a dumbass. I'm gonna talk it up and you're gonna be like, yeah, I've seen it before. You might. I don't think it's underground
Maybe
at all.
not.
I don't think it's underground at all. I know you haven't, which is
Okay.
But my 5th movie that I just watched recently as well, that is gonna be very surprising, is Mandy. You ever seen Mandy?
No.
I've never heard of it.
Wow. Okay.
We
have a lot to get into here.
He's
Hold
in the
on.
know right now. That's crazy.
What is Mandy?
baby. So Mandy is.
Did Emma give you a list of movies to
No,
watch?
I don't know this one.
Okay,
Whoa.
okay, whoa. Okay.
So Mandy, I just want to the preface of it. It is the lead is Nicolas Cage. That is what you get.
Okay.
Huh.
But so
Oh, you told me about this the other day.
So basically, in the movie, it is a revenge movie. So it's a cult movie as well, technically. But they start out like this happy family, and then Mandy is the name of the. It's also very trippy. Who's the director? Do you remember?
No.
He did a movie in. I should know this, but it's what's his name? Panos.
Huh?
Sorry, I have to look it up.
Is this the foreign film you were talking about?
No, Panos Cosmatos.
Okay.
He did a movie in 2010 that was absolutely like wild. So this movie is a sensory overload. So go into like it's gonna make you feel very like all over the place. Anyway, sorry. But so this cult leader sees Mandy, says I have to have her, so they kidnap her, right?
Mhm.
And they kidnap both of them. And like he has like and there's like drugs in the movie. Like it's very interesting. But then basically the second half of the movie is Nicolas Cage going on this rampage trying to avenge his wife. And it is just so wacky. It is so goofy, but it's not necessarily terrifying, but there's so many elements to it that are just amazing.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
love the use of like it's genuinely like you see Nicolas Cage like at one point snorts cocaine. Like it's
I
just,
mean,
that
that's
seems
not
very-
totally out of character.
It's not out of the ballpark for
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage.
I know.
But it is always awesome to see.
But also, like, I think it's, I don't know. I love Mandy. I would recommend giving it a watch. I think
Okay.
it's really, really well done movie.
Nice.
I love revenge movies as well.
Everyone loves a good revenge
Same.
story.
Like John Wick.
Yes,
And
but
Django.
this one's not. Think about like if John Wick's
Old
wife got
boy.
killed in that same way his dog did. Like it's that. So those are my top 5 for 2010s, which might be controversial. Obviously, there's a bunch, and I didn't have like too much time, and I haven't
Right.
really have a good basis.
And you're still new to this,
but I think it's a pretty solid top 5, if
Yeah.
I may so say myself.
I don't have
like, you
any.
know.
The only one I personally disagree with, and I know I'm in the minority with that, is Get Out.
I knew he was
Yeah.
gonna say that.
It's a good movie. Well, okay,
It just didn't do it for me.
so.
but whatever.
So my 3 honorable mentions that I have though
Okay.
is The Witch because I thought it was phenomenal but I did like just see it and like the other ones just
Yeah.
someone had to go. So it was The Witch, the Evil Dead remake in 2013. I think
That is a good movie.
I think the movie itself, like the plot is obviously just like it's nothing crazy.
No.
But I think genuine like horror and when it comes to like possession, I think that movie's phenomenal and it's gory as fuck. And I also love
Yeah.
like I said, I was telling you guys earlier, I love how she's the one got possessed. Everyone else dies, and then she's the one that lives.
Hell
It
yeah.
makes me laugh. The last one, this is the movie I was telling you guys, the foreign one earlier. And I think you guys should watch it because I think it's not really like a horror. It's like a horror comedy. Nah, it's a horror movie, but it's goofy. But it's called One Cut to the Dead,
Okay.
and basically it is a movie where they're shooting a zombie movie, but then there's actual zombies, but the actors don't know if it's
Oh, that's
acting.
funny.
That's
Oh.
funny. They don't know if it's acting or
That's
they don't know if it's
funny.
actual movie. They're like, wow, this is
There's
crazy.
a Call of Duty Zombies map that had the same
Yeah.
That's
concept.
funny.
But I think that was gonna make my list, but I think, yeah, One Cut to the
Yeah.
Dead. It is a foreign film, and I think it
Okay.
is phenomenal.
You know
and
what,
it's really
what
good.
country is it from?
I do not know actually.
Really?
I didn't do my research
What
that
language
much.
is it in?
I do not know. I know it's. I mean,
I
it's,
do not
so
know.
it's. I
So-
know it's Asian. So it's probably. I mean, we can. You wanna look
It'd
over it?
probably
I
be
think you
either
told me
Korean
it's
or Japanese.
Taiwanese.
Oh,
I
may-
thought that's what he
Or
said.
one Cut of the Dead. Sorry, One
Oh,
Cut
it's
of the Dead.
Japanese.
Japanese, yeah.
Okay.
So Japanese, but it's they're shooting a low budget movie and then they're attacked by real zombies.
That's funny.
Okay.
And it's funny because the
Okay.
director the whole time's like, just keep cut.
That's
keep
such a
rolling.
fun concept.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
so I would give that a watch.
So is Jaden missing any from his list?
That-
Didn't
I'm
even
happy-
give an honorable mention.
That was my honorable mention.
I know, but is he missing some?
Oh,
from his
there's
honorable
one I
mentions?
would like for him to watch from
What's
the
that?
2010s. It's I don't know how people feel about this one, but it's the remake of Fright Night.
I remember you watching that
I've never
one
seen the
day.
original
You
Fright
do
Night.
I
like
think
that.
it came out in 2010. I hope I'm not wrong. It was
No,
like
it did come
2009
out-
or something.
I think
but
We can look it
I
up.
think it was 2010 or
It might
2011.
have come out in
It's close
2010s.
enough.
But the remake of Fright Night, I do enjoy.
2011.
Oh, thank God.
2011. There you go.
This one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it has Colin Farrell,
Oh, I can't get over him from Banshees. I'm
Tony
sorry.
Collette.
Oh.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of people
They
in
have
it.
hard
There's a
hitters.
lot of people.
Yeah.
That's
And,
pre-hereditary
uh,
though, so she's not
And
quite there.
isn't McLovin
Right.
in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pizza Man? Sorry. Inside joke.
Yeah, he's in it. I think one of the is it David Tennant in it? Also,
There's a lot of people in it.
It's got a lot of people in it.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable. It's
Heavy hitters.
Yeah, it
Heavy
borders
hitters.
on horror comedy, but so does the original. I think it's a pretty good remake, though.
Yeah.
You just want me to watch it, but not one that I missed. Or you think I missed?
I
So
think it
that
would
would
be
be in yours?
in my top 5 for 2010s. Yeah.
You actually watched everything from the list I sent you except American Mary,
American Mary.
which
American Mary.
I just watched today, and I still think it's fantastic.
Oh, you rewatched it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
before we came here, I watched American Mary, and I still think it holds up. It's 2012, I think,
Okay.
and
Mm,
that's
it's
fine.
oh
I'll
amazing.
have to watch it.
Is there
though.
anything that you would replace
The Witch?
for 2010s?
No, yeah, well, I just haven't seen Mandy, so I would put
Yeah.
The Witch up there. But
I guess
the
it's an
other,
honorable mention.
yeah, but the rest are solid.
Okay.
You
I
know,
would say.
so the one real quick too, the one thing that I think will piss off maybe a lot of people when we
Yeah.
were talking about this, I think everyone knows what I'm talking about from the 2010s. Conjuring.
Right.
I feel like most people would put.
I think
Relax,
it's like
relax.
I think it's
You
fine,
don't have
but
to
most-
put-
but
we
most
don't have to
people-
talk about it.
But I'm saying, but Emma does not like The Conjuring.
okay.
Just the first one. I think a lot of people though hold it to
I
high
don't like
regards.
any of them.
Well, yeah, I'm saying we're talking about just
Talking
the
about
first
the
one.
first one,
first
yeah.
one.
But I think a lot of
yeah.
people would put that in their top 5.
Well, it was a
Absolutely.
big deal when it
It
came out.
was. Made a shit ton of money too.
Yeah.
And dude, I think there's 9 or 10 movies in that universe in 10 years.
Yeah, there's
That's
like
the insane part.
Yeah.
there's
This is what-
10 or 11 now.
Annabelle, Conjuring, The Nun. There's another
So-
shows in this
Yeah.
Well, what about? I know we were talking about this earlier, and like what defines a horror movie, but what about like Train to Busan?
Like, so I wouldn't consider. I was never terrified of my life.
I think if he did consider it a horror movie, it'd be on the list though.
Oh, for sure.
because that's just an
Right.
incredible.
For sure. But
Just
But
based
it
on
is.
quality
But it is
alone.
labeled as
Yeah.
a horror thriller.
But you know what it is though?
What?
Because we talk about how movies make you feel and what you take away from them.
Yeah.
When Train to Busan, when those credits started rolling, I was not thinking, holy shit, I'm terrified. I thought, holy shit, my life sucks.
Yeah, we were
It's like,
sobbing.
because I watched it with her for the first
God,
time.
I think I just need to be dead.
Oh, dude,
because
yeah.
that
No,
is so-
yeah, I
that is
cried like a
terrifying.
baby, bro.
But that's what I
We-
walked away with, like
Right.
it's like a psychological thriller or horror,
Okay.
if anything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like now I have to live with knowing that this motherfucker had to die and watch his kid like go off some random woman on this damn train,
Oh.
like
Bro, when she started singing
hurts
in the
so
hall in the
bad.
tunnel, bro.
bro.
Oh my
And also
God.
his character progression, he was a dickhead, and then he finally got it right, and then he
He's a
dies
sh-
for it.
And he's a shitty dad. And then he's like,
He should have just kept on being shitty. Probably would have lived.
Yeah,
that's
he would've-
why we went to like Walmart or some shit, and I bought the Blu-ray or
The
4K disc.
4K,
Okay.
come on.
The 4K disc
Fuck
for
a
him.
Blu-ray.
And I was like, I don't care. I'm gonna buy it for you. This needs to go in your collection because you need to watch this
It's so
movie.
good.
That's also my
Yeah.
baby collection too. I think I had like 10 movies at
Yeah.
that point. Now
It
I
was
have,
when you
I
just
think now I have
started.
like 40 or 50.
Damn.
Another one I really enjoy from the 2010s is The Ritual.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Good
I've
one.
seen
Underrated.
it.
I think
I've
that
seen
would have
it.
been in my top 5
Yeah.
also.
Underrated,
I was
bro.
surprised by how much I enjoyed that
Yes.
movie
You know
when I
what?
watched it.
That's actually that's an honorable mention. I
Honorable
will throw that
mention,
on
good.
there because I think that is a phenomenal one.
Mhm.
Underrated British horror
It's like
movie.
it's like a
Yeah.
twig Slenderman chasing you. Or it's Siren Head. Sorry, more like.
Yeah.
well, and the whole Nordic mythology is just so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do, and you
And when
get
they get
those
to
like,
that village and you meet the people, it almost
Yeah.
becomes creepier.
yeah,
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
For
do get
sure.
like those Blair Witch vibes as well, kind of in a way.
Yeah.
A little
That's,
bit, yeah.
that's what I liked about Midsummer's. The people who were in the cult are
Mhm.
really disturbing
Yeah.
and like off.
Another one I really like from the 2010s is Ouija Origin of Evil. So that's the second one.
I've never seen a Ouija movie.
So I
I saw the
don't.
first one. I wasn't impressed.
No, I know, and a lot of people weren't. But the second one, Mike Flanagan directed the second one,
Oh,
which I love. Mike Flanagan.
Okay.
What?
Well,
You
I saw the first
I'm
one,
just
decided
excited.
it wasn't worth the shit, and then I didn't watch.
You didn't
Origin
watch the
of
second one?
Evil.
So the second one I
was
really
of the same
enjoyed.
opinion. Yeah.
I really like the second one. So obviously Mike Flanagan was it? He's like directed Hush. He done
Hush is fine. It's good.
Is it Hush? I think.
It's the Deaf Girl.
Deaf Girl,
I
yeah.
think it was Hush. Yeah. He
Yes.
also did like Haunting of Hill House.
Haunting of Hill House, which is
Bly
fucking
Manor,
amazing. Bly Manor.
Midnight Mass.
Midnight Mass, which is
Yeah.
a great.
Midnight
These
Mass
are all
was
TV
crazy.
shows. Midnight Mass is
Yeah.
really good. These are
Yeah.
TV shows.
They're like
You need to
Netflix
watch.
shows, right?
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
Netflix
all
horror
of them.
I
TV
feel
shows.
like another movie, because this is what Christian at work, shout out, told me. A Cabin in the Woods apparently is like.
Oh fuck! I forgot that was 2010s.
Yeah,
It
he
is
said
20
that. He
yeah.
said that movie.
2013.
He was like that movie.
Have you seen
needs-
it?
No.
I recommend watching
I
it.
recommend it.
It's
I
fun.
still have a decent amount above Cabin in the Woods, but it is enjoyable.
But that
for
was one of
sure.
the
Yeah.
movies that I've seen people were like, "Oh, this movie's like
especially
really,
if
really
you've
good.
watched anything Evil Dead related. Yeah, watch Cabin in the Woods.
Okay.
It's fucking perfection.
But
Yeah.
I don't.
It's
I think.
so funny.
I think 2010s there are so many though, because that's what a lot of people
Yes.
It's like your memory's most recent.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure that's all the movies.
It's hard to narrow them down, to be honest.
Oh my god, there's so many.
Oh, but you're
All
saying
right.
Mike Flanagan did.
Mike Flanagan's done a lot, man.
Berto's inquiring.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm
you know,
actually like, yeah.
well, yeah, because Mike Flanagan did Ouija: Origin of Evil, and I just have really become a fan of Mike Flanagan, especially with the TV shows.
No, he's
like
good
Kill
with
It.
like lore.
He
and
is,
stuff,
but
yeah.
also a very like touching story at the same time in his within his horror.
Sweet.
Like Midnight Mass, that one was really good.
I still haven't seen it.
It's
And I
really
plan on
good.
watching. I just haven't.
So
Arnaldo really likes that one.
2010s. That's a
2010s,
pretty
yeah.
good. That's a pretty good sum up
Pretty
of
good.
2010s.
No, and
Pretty good decade.
I do think that what makes it a good decade is as we got closer to the 2020s, like later 2010s, that's when horror kind of started making a comeback because it was in a slump.
it was a lot of.
while.
It was a lot of. I think the 2010s. There's a lot of originality that came into place,
Mhm.
in a sense of like not like the cult or like the paranormal, but it's more like how do we innovate on that and how do we
Yeah.
actually make it
Yeah.
meaningful? Like again, Hereditary.
Meaningful or
Is-
just fucking weirder too.
Yeah.
Well, same thing.
Make it darker.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
But so it's.
That's-
I will agree. 2010s is a good one.
Also, how you notice like we all have ascending decades, and then we
Yeah.
completely skip the early 2000s.
Yeah.
no, like.
It's
All right,
2000s
first off,
is a
that
lot.
was
I'm
that was
sorry.
the age of a lot of shitty sequels
slump.
Yeah,
and
I'm
remakes.
sorry,
Remakes.
Mama.
Remakes.
That this is garbage. It was garbage.
Yeah, even the 90s, it's like, and you were saying this in our group chat. It's like the highs are high, but the lows are
They
fucking
are,
low.
yeah.
And in 2000s, like nothing really of note that I can
Except
think
Saw.
of.
It's literally
Like
like
Saw and like
it's-
Ghost Ship.
it's Saw.
I mean,
and then
because you have
That's
Paranormal
about it.
Activity, but even Paranormal
Fuck
Activity.
Paranormal Activity. No, like
It's some
I'm
bullshit.
sorry, that movie was fucking bullshit.
So yeah. So that's why we're skipping 2000s and we
Yeah.
chose the 90s. So
Which brings us to Emma.
we got the 90s.
I'm excited.
yeah, I'm ready.
Because she was.
Because 90s does have some bangers.
She was going back and forth. She's like, I don't know if I want to be me or if I want to do like the like how do I represent
I've been
this decade the
stressing.
best.
I decided to
I think you should be yourself.
choose
Well,
which
no,
ones
but-
like I liked.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
I think that's what we all
There's
did.
no-
We picked what we like.
Yeah.
You can still recognize the greats.
Well,
Yeah.
I just think
The
a lot of
honorable mentions are
iconic
for-
stuff
Yeah.
came out of the 90s.
Mhm.
True.
So I was like, oh, should I base it on that? But even if I don't like them, anyway,
You
I
got
chose the
this.
ones that I liked.
Is
All right.
Blade in your list?
Shut the fuck up.
It is not.
That's
it
fine.
should never be.
No,
Blade's
2000s Ghost Rider.
So I think if you're gonna do a best of 90s
Did you
list,
hear what he said? He just called Ghost Rider.
I don't want to talk about Ghost Rider.
Ghost
That's
Rider's-
why I breezed
I love
right
it.
past
I love it
it.
as a kid, but God is a bad movie.
It's
Sorry,
not-
Nicolas
it's-
Cage.
it's
You got
not-
Mandy though. You
It's
got
not
Mandy.
a good movie.
Emma's
Sorry,
top
Emma.
5.
Yeah, here
Emma's
we
top
go.
5 horror
I think
movies
if you're
of the
doing
90s.
any 90s list, you have to start with Scream.
Yes. Got to.
Yeah. No,
1996.
Mhm.
It's perfection.
Even
I
Sc-
love Scream.
Even Scream 2 was good too.
Yeah.
Scream 2 is good too.
But we'll just lump them together.
But I'm not gonna put it in
No,
the
I'm
same
not gonna put
list
above
as the
Scream.
first
Scream
one.
one,
The
Scream 2,
characters
Scream
in the first Scream are just so
Wes
Yeah.
Craven,
good.
baby.
Wes
Bro,
Craven,
you
baby.
need to go to the Scream house. It's a wedding. They use it as a wedding house now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You should go though.
You should get married
I
there.
think they're stopping that soon. Actually.
Well, you
Damn.
better.
You better book it.
You better get married right now.
But seriously, imagine how because
I ain't got
they
the money for
changed it
that
a little
shit.
bit, but it's basically the same house, like same
Yeah,
floral
yeah, yeah,
pattern and
uh-huh.
everything.
Sydney's house?
Yeah. No. Stu
No.
Mockers.
Oh,
His parents, Stu Mocker.
Oh, shit.
You can
Yeah.
see it's really
The
cool.
farmhouse, baby.
But
All right,
Scream, yeah.
Scream.
Oh yeah. So Scream. I love Billy and Stu.
Stu's the best. Matthew Lillard's just the fucking best.
Probably love me
It's
some
so weird
Shaggy.
to switch up from like that to
What you got coming?
What's next?
what it. No, I'm talking about Matthew Lillard.
Oh, from that to like Shaggy from Scooby Doo.
yeah. I feel like that's what
He's the perfect
most.
Shaggy.
He's so good at Shaggy.
He's good in everything, and he's
He
also
is.
about to be in the fucking Five Nights at Freddy's
Freddy,
movie
yeah, uh-huh.
as
That alone will
Michael
make
Afton, or not
Dude.
Michael, William Afton.
This
me.
is.
I don't know much about
Michael-
the lore
Right.
of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, I had to watch like 3
It's
hours
pretty
of
good.
FNAF lore videos,
It's a.
so I know all the things.
This is a hot take, real quick. But the Scooby Doo movies, I think they casted them actually perfectly, but
They
the plot
did.
sucked.
Whoa.
wait, but what sucked?
The plot,
plot.
like
I
the
thought
writing,
the plot was
You
fine.
know what I'm saying, but the actual casting of the
I thought
characters
the
are.
writing was great.
I think it's like good, but I think like with that cast, they casted everyone perfectly.
The casting was great. I
Cast
thought
is
the writing was
perfect.
good too. It was James Gunn.
I liked it.
Baby.
No, it was good. I'm saying, but like I feel like I don't know.
I mean, it's a live action Scooby Doo. It's like what?
But also like
You
how,
can't take
how-
it
I was
gotta be
expecting.
realistic.
I was
Serious.
expecting the world.
You're expecting like Zombie Island.
Yo,
Oh,
Zombie
God.
Island's great.
No, it was a really. I really
Have
did
you
like
seen
that
Zombie
movie.
Island?
The cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
That's what brought
Ah.
Scooby Doo back from its slump.
Mhm.
Oh, can I take that with me?
Yeah,
I don't have. I don't have a VHS player.
Damn it! Didn't know.
Watch it on Max.
So number 2, I have Jacob's Ladder.
Okay.
Right at the cusp. It was 1990.
Yeah.
I love this movie. I think it has a lot of.
I think you were talking about this before,
Yes.
actually.
So
Yeah.
when I'm talking about the highs are high, I think I mentioned, I was like, well, Screaming Jacob's Ladder are fucking lit. I love Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah.
It's like a cross between a drama, surrealist horror, and like a war movie too, because he's a Vietnam veteran and he's like being tortured by hallucinations and stuff, and it's fucking weird and it's awesome. And it is scary to me. I thought it was scary when I watched it.
Haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I'll have to
I
add it
don't
to
know.
my
Seen
list.
it either. No.
It's a good one.
Can't have an
It's a
input
good
on that
guys.
one.
Good. I love Jacob's Ladder.
But I love how passionate
Number
you are
3,
about it.
this is actually my favorite. Like this would be my number 1
Okay.
of the 90s.
Okay.
Perfect Blue.
I don't know that one.
Wait, no,
It's the
I
anime.
think I added that to my watch list.
It's anime.
Yeah, it's an animated, like a Japanese, like
Okay,
animated
okay.
movie.
Like anime horror?
Yes.
Okay.
And it is fucking. It's called Perfect Blue because
did.
it's perfection. I've never seen something. Not that I've never seen something better than this, but it's amazing. So it's about like this girl, and she's in an idol group, and she leaves to go be an actress, and she has a stalker, and it's sort of like a slasher psychological horror movie. It'll blow your socks off. Please just watch it.
How's the art? Because I know some
Beautiful.
yeah.
I know some anime horror, or just Japanese horror in general, can look very, very fucking like scary, like
Yeah. So it looks.
like
It
grotesque.
has it
like,
all. It
You know
has it
what-
all. Yes.
You know what, like grotesque anime I like is actually from the first Kill Bill. That
I fucking
scene.
love Kill Bill.
Yeah.
That one scene that
Uma
gives the
Thurman.
history of that one character.
Dude, that
What's her
shit
name?
took me out when I watched it for the first time. I was like, where are we at, Tarantino? But I was like,
Yeah.
I'm here.
No,
There's
Yeah.
an
yeah,
artist
it was fun.
that does anime, and like he does like horror specifically. I'm trying to think of who the artist is. I think it's
Lucy Liu, that's her
Junji
character.
Ito.
Yeah.
Yeah, his stuff looks fucking horrifying.
Tomie
Yeah.
and Uzumaki and stuff. He's
Yeah.
my favorite. I love horror manga, so I'm kind of a freak for that. I literally got one in the mail like the other day.
Oh,
The one
nice.
that you took in
Oh.
for me.
actually-
It's a horror manga.
That's a bold
Okay.
pick though to put animated horror on the list.
Perfect Blue.
Is 90s really that
You'll
dry
see. It's not a hot take.
though? No, I don't think it's hot. I'm just.
Mm.
Is it popular?
Super.
The Emma
Okay.
Dick Rider is about to flow in
Dude,
the comments,
Perfect
bro.
Blue is like it's one
Yeah.
of the film bro movies.
Bro, now you're gonna have anime movies with you too.
Oh god.
Or anime people.
She's gonna take
Bro,
all of your fans.
Emma's gonna take over the channel, bro. Some people were like, "Why the fuck doesn't Emma have her own podcast? Why the fuck do these
Why
intelligent?
are these idiots?
Well,
with
yeah,
her?
what is she doing with these intelligent
yeah, they're like
losers?"
she's leagues above all these other fools.
But that's also how you know they didn't watch the pod like all the way through, because if you watched it when we
then I look like an
explained.
idiot. Yeah.
No, I'm
no.
saying when we watched the pod though, when we introduced everything, we're like, okay, like you're pretty good.
Yeah.
You have like
we all have our own.
yeah, but like
we have our
own
areas.
thing,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that, but
We're actually a pretty diverse group.
That's
Yeah.
good.
true,
I think that's why people really liked the last episode
true, and this
True.
one.
and this one.
And
Number
this one. yeah.
okay, my number 4. This is one where I was like, oh, my last 2 are the ones that are sort of teetering on the edge, which is what I talked about earlier.
So the
'Cause
90s is
I-
that dry.
I cannot. It is dry. I had to lean into thrillers because I'm like, I don't know if this is even a horror movie, but I guess it's supposed to be kind of scary. This one maybe not so much, but I just didn't find it scary. Silence of the Lambs.
Okay.
That one, that
It's a psychological
do
thriller.
consider it
They do
horror.
consider it
psychological
horror.
Yeah.
horror.
It is slow season in the 90s, I guess.
Here's the thing,
I
though,
haven't seen it, though, so
that
I don't
is a
wanna
good movie. I never personally was like, wow, this is a horror movie.
But it's like a crime thriller to
yeah, yeah.
me more than anything.
Like, it's
just because he's a
creepy.
cannibal, that makes it supposed to
That-
make it.
yeah, that's
but
what makes
also,
it creepy.
Buffalo Bill is kind of like weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of pop
Maybe-
culture
maybe.
references.
I
Yeah.
love that
movie
Buffalo
too.
Bill.
Yeah.
I mean, plus, and you have
Wait.
Hannibal Lecter, like.
In the movie.
He's iconic.
so
Yeah.
do I need to see this movie?
Wait, you haven't
Silence of
seen
the
Silence of the
Yeah,
Lambs?
yeah.
Are you guys really
Oh.
surprised?
No, it's
I-
a movie
this
that
one,
I
yes.
think
But I
people
feel
should
like,
movie I
see.
need
I
to
feel
see,
like
okay.
Hannibal Lecter is an iconic horror
Yes.
villain.
Yes. Yes.
But I don't
which
find
is
him-
weird because
Yes.
yeah,
the movie's not even about.
I've never known where he's
It's not.
from.
he's just like in it.
Yeah.
He's there for
I've
sure.
always just
No,
heard
he
that
won an
name.
Oscar for
I thought
it.
I thought it was a Batman thing, to be honest.
Because my thing is like calling Silence of the
joking.
Lambs a horror movie is like calling Zodiac a horror movie.
But Zodiac kind of it can teeter though. Like people think that
No, but a lot
just
of people.
because it's like gruesome.
A lot of people do
almost.
consider Silence of the Lambs a horror movie, though.
Yeah.
I think it's valid.
Do
It's-
people consider
it's-
Zodiac a horror movie?
Yeah, some people.
I don't
Really?
That's
It's a-
2000s
but, like,
too.
That's like a
Crimes-
detective movie.
But that's
Between
2000s.
the-
like a true
That's
crime.
what I'm talking about. The line between horror and thriller is
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
thin. you can cut it with a knife.
Especially in the 90s.
In most in most decades.
when your options are real slim.
when you have slim pickings. And then the last one, which I don't think you guys have seen probably.
Oh boy.
It's called Memento Mori. So it's a South Korean.
No.
I have not seen it.
South Korean
That actually sounds familiar.
horror
Wow.
kind of.
Well, I've seen I'm post this, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh wow, these people don't watch fucking foreign films." You're like, "Bitch, wait till my list."
Yeah. So
Mine is
Memento
mostly
Mori,
foreign films.
Damn, this is real underground.
This also to me is another one. I find it to be a drama romance that
Mhm.
has supernatural elements.
Okay.
Do you know
but I
something
put it-
wacky?
What?
I think I've actually seen this.
You probably
Really?
But like
you might
years
have.
ago.
You might
I
have.
don't know if I remember a lot, but I do think I have seen it. Wow, that is surprising.
It's like a lesbian ghost movie. It's
Sounds cool.
awesome.
It's been a minute.
It's awesome.
To get you aroused,
Lesbian
lesbian go. I mean,
I
that
was like,
sounds
I
kind
thought
of.
you were talking to me. I was like,
I
not
mean,
personally.
Not
I
personally.
mean, you can answer the question if you want.
Oh, now
Yeah.
so now it's gonna be like Emma's the best and Blake's sexist. That's crazy.
Oh shit!
No, that would
I
make him
can't post
homophobic.
that.
Oh no!
Cut. Cut that.
Take it back from the top. So your fifth movie is what,
yeah,
Emma?
Let's start over.
So
Blake can get
Memento,
canceled.
Memento Mori. And then my honorable mentions, I have Candyman,
Yes.
Okay.
which I think could have been up there if I
Yeah.
didn't. I love Memento Mori, so I moved it up there like retroactively because at first Candyman was in my top 5.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I was
Alright.
like, okay,
I
Candyman
think
is
that makes Blake
iconic.
happy.
Yeah, Candyman
Well,
makes
Candyman
my
is
top
iconic.
5.
Candyman is like really good.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree that it's definitely up there.
You guys like the
in terms
remake?
of what?
Remake's bad.
Wasn't it a
I
sequel?
haven't seen the remake. It's like a legacy sequel, I
It's
think.
kind of like a legacy sequel.
Yeah.
And then I have The Ring, which I also think is very iconic.
Okay.
Super iconic.
And then my other pick was Blair Witch Project,
Okay.
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
which could also be up there.
I thought Blair Witch Project was like renowned as like a really good horror movie. No,
Yeah.
Well,
It is.
It is.
In most people's, Blair Witch would probably be in the top 5 for sure.
that's what I was curious. Because I've never seen it, but I thought maybe it was like 2000s because you didn't talk about it at all.
It's
No,
1999.
yeah.
People
it's like
It's
on
up
the
there.
cusp.
people always talk about Blair Witch Project. So
Well,
You
at
know
the
what?
time, it was very different.
Yeah.
because it's like the first.
Found foot-
It's like
yeah.
the first or one of the first
It's
like
not
found
the
footages.
first.
Is it the one that
It's the first one to
Technically-
become popular.
I think
Really
Cannibal
popularized it.
Holocaust actually popularized the genre.
Whatever that is.
Blair Witch is the one that took off, though.
You know
if you're
what?
talking about
Hey.
Grindhouse and like
Blair
found footage,
Witch.
that's where like that style actually originated.
Blair
Yeah.
Witch, made by UCF film students.
Yeah.
But where are
Pretty
you
cool.
at, bro?
Yeah, why didn't you make that?
Because I'm
UCF film student
I
Blake.
fucking suck.
Yo, all you can do is produce.
You can just throw money at people. Oh God!
Come
Bro, quit knocking shit. You knocked over Harry Potter.
It's fine. He's back up.
No, I can write.
I think it's a really good list.
I think
like
so
For
cinematography.
too.
what you
Right?
got, I'm really upset though you didn't even consider watching Urban Legends like I told you to.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Have you guys seen Urban Legends?
No.
So it is. I don't want to get. It's a slasher after Scream. Like it's like another slasher.
Okay.
But basically, it's like the killer kills people and like using urban legends.
like the Hook
and the
Man and stuff like that.
or
Okay.
like the Pop Rocks and Soda.
Oh, okay.
But the professor is the actor for Freddy Krueger.
Oh,
he's in the movie.
Robert Englund.
Yeah, he's in the movie.
Who's a
and-
great actor, by the way.
Yeah, he's like the professor that teaches. It's called what's called Urban Legends 101.
Did you know
It's in
Robert
Toronto.
Englund suggested to George Lucas that Mark Hamill should become Luke Skywalker?
Awesome.
Really?
Really?
That's dope.
That is a weird fucking
I
multiverse.
didn't know that, but
Wait,
that's
does that
funny.
mean Star Wars and Nightmare on Elm Street have a multiverse? They share a universe?
Yes.
Can we argue this? This is the viral take right
Oh
here.
God, I wasn't trying to go that far with it.
Freddy Krueger should be in Star Wars.
Holy shit.
but
Freddy versus
Freddy
Anakin?
Or
Anakin would win. Well, no, he's haunted by his nightmares, though.
I have the high ground, bitch.
hey, thank God you're a drinker. or thank God you drank it.
Bitch.
I just,
Thank
didn't,
God
I,
you
I
drank
just
it.
didn't know I was that funny.
No, that was
I
pretty.
went to, like,
that was
clap.
pretty fucking funny.
That's what I.
My movie that I feel like should have been in Emma's top, or
What's
would
that?
have been in my top 5 for the 90s, is Event Horizon.
I haven't seen it.
It is an incredible like sci-fi horror movie. I like sci-fi horror,
Yeah.
but it's also got like some body horror in it too, which I know you
Whoa,
like.
the other one that I didn't put up there that is also like sci-fi body horror is
Yeah.
Naked Lunch, because you knew I had to sneak in a Cronenberg mention. I
Right.
asked y'all
Oh,
if y'all
yeah.
had seen it like maybe
yeah,
earlier
you
this
asked that
week.
the other
I
day.
hadn't
Yeah,
seen it.
Uh-huh.
And it's literally it's about this guy who he's like a pest control specialist or something, and he finds out his wife is getting high from the insecticide drugs that he's doing, so he starts doing the fucking insecticides, and then he hallucinates like all these bug companions, and it's really fucking weird, and it's kind of creepy, and like if you hate bugs, like I'm sure it might be scary, but I don't find it scary. I just find it fucking deranged.
Was this by Cronenberg?
Yeah, this is David Cronenberg.
Bro, I think he was inhaling those
like
pesticides.
more like
it is
grotesque heinous.
it is grotesque because there's all these close up like the fucking track marks of where he's injecting it, and it's like all weird.
Okay,
and, like,
okay, that's
it's like
Cronenberg.
surreal. It's because it's based on it's a William Burroughs novel.
Okay.
Yeah, mine was just. I think you should watch Urban Legends. Though.
Yeah,
I give it. I think it's like the second best like slasher remake or a slasher copycat of Scream. Or no, I think I Know What You Did Last Summer was better than.
I thought that movie was okay.
Oh shit, that movie too.
Yeah, that's 97.
That movie, dude. The end of that movie, like I did not expect it to whatever.
No,
I think the best part of that movie was the setting. I love the creepy fishing town.
Have you ever seen the third one? Probably not, right?
No, I've only seen the first.
So the third one is new characters and they're at a carnival, but then the killer is a dead. You know the main killer from the first one.
Yeah.
It's a fucking zombie one of him.
So they went full supernatural. It
is Morgan Moonscar.
It is so dumb.
Shut the fuck up.
It's like Jaws 3D dumb. Anyway.
Oh shit. No, I think Emma pretty much covered it for me. Obviously I love the Candyman mention because I love Candyman.
Candyman.
Kind of like what
Candyman.
you guys love about It Follows. You know, you like that Detroit setting. I love the Chicago setting for Candyman.
Fair enough.
Right.
Adds like a lot of lore, a lot of creep. Like, you know, adds a creepy setting to it.
It's an important movie too.
Yeah, it is.
Very
Tony Todd, fucking terrifying performance, deep ass voice.
He even did good in the remake too, or the Legacy sequel too. Like the
Still gotta watch that.
Oh, I
you
did
haven't seen
have
it?
No.
one more 90s one I wanted to throw in.
What's that?
sci-fi horror.
No, this is, I don't know if you'd consider this like horror or action though. That's the thing. The Mummy with Brendan Fraser.
Oh,
That
I didn't even think about that.
That shit
like,
terrified me as a kid.
As a kid, I was terrified
those
by
damn
it,
bugs
but,
in my
like,
skin.
But is it more of an action movie? But it's also a remake of like the classic.
It is.
Mummy.
It is a classic horror movie.
Right.
You can say
You're
action
right.
thriller.
And a lot of people do watch that to kick off like spooky season.
Right.
It's
Mummy?
an appetizer.
Yeah.
It's an appetizer.
I mean, think about it. You
Because
go,
it's got plenty of horror
I
elements
guess it's
in
like
it.
a transition.
you go on the you go on the ride at Universal too. Like, this is a pretty creepy ride.
I've been on that. I haven't been on it since they
fucking
upgraded
love
it.
that ride.
It's still one of the best
Dude,
rides at
Mummy's
I
Universal.
wonder, but what did they just like maintained it, right? Like
Yeah,
just
they
upgraded
cleaned it up a little bit.
It's
Dude.
like it's a remaster.
Yeah.
I
they
used to be-
remastered
Dude,
the
I used to be
ride.
scared of life. I went to Universal when I was like in elementary school, maybe like early middle school. There's a picture of me on that ride because I was scared of the Mummy still.
Yeah.
My head was down.
Oh, no.
The whole ride 'cause I just want to
You
see
know
anything.
a
Oh,
ride.
I did that once, and then I knocked out my 2 front teeth.
Oh my god.
What the
Not on the
fuck?
Mummy, but
Oh.
yeah,
In general.
yeah.
You know what ride?
At a theme park.
You know what terrified me?
I was like,
So, do you remember? I forget which park it was, but do you remember they had an alien ride at a theme park? Was it like Disney?
That
or
was
Hollywood?
Disney.
It was
Yeah.
Disney.
And it scared the shit out of me.
Really?
Yes, my dad took me on that ride when I was like, bro, I had to be like 6 maybe, and I could feel the alien would
It
breathe on your
breathes
neck.
you. Yep.
Yes, and you can't see
And you're
shit.
sitting in
And
darkness.
you're sitting in
Do you think
darkness.
there's a video online?
Probably.
How
I want to watch it.
It was called Extraterrestrial Encounter.
I came out of that ride bawling my eyes out. My dad felt so
My
bad.
dad was laughing at me.
I felt so bad.
Oh,
bro.
I feel like that's the more
the
classic dad
duration was
response.
18 minutes.
the ride.
It says duration was 18
Damn,
minutes.
I don't remember that.
It
the
was
height
more
restriction
of a
was-
show.
The
Right,
height
it was like a
restriction was
show.
3
Hell no,
3'8".
this shit is at Magic Kingdom. What are they doing to our children?
It was in
closed-
Tomorrowland.
It
Yeah.
closed in 03 though.
It got replaced with the Stitch
yeah,
bullshit.
we were
It
barely
was
born.
I was fucking
Creepy.
terrified.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was a show. Oh, so it's probably like the Bugs Life show.
And it ends with them like
Yes.
blowing up the alien in the
Yeah.
tube, but the tube
Dude,
doesn't close all the way.
that's
So
a-
you get sprayed with its guts.
Bro, if you want to start off your horror campaign, go ride fucking Bugs Life at I think it's Animal Kingdom.
I
That
Animal
think
shit,
they're
Kingdom.
getting rid of that.
that shit is terrifying.
That scared me as a kid too.
I
Because
like
I
that.
don't like
Not as a-
that
not as a-
show.
dude, it's just I hate bugs.
Oh, I thought it was fun.
When you
I
feel
mean,
the
it's-
bugs like crawling on your butt.
yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I think also with speaking of rides though for horror, I think you could also some people argue the Jaws ride was like scary. Like,
Yo, the Jaws ride was
I
incredible.
never got to do the Jaws ride at Universal.
I mean, me neither.
It was.
I know.
Have you seen videos of it?
I have seen videos.
Besides the Mummy, it was my favorite ride there.
There's also because you know the fear of like it's such a niche fear, but obviously fear is a fear. But it's like I think it's like submechophobia. It's like the
mechanophobia.
Yeah, there's the fear of underwater animatronics.
Yeah,
and it is creepy. Like think about if you
I'm on that subreddit.
If you fall into the water, imagine just like seeing this. It looks not real, but at the time,
like a man-made structure that's underwater that shouldn't be there. Yeah, there's something creepy about it.
Let's say you bumped into man. I don't even want to think about that shit. Anyway, I think solid list, Emma, for doing what you could with the. I'm surprised you didn't take the 2010s.
The 90s were tough.
I was going to.
Were you trying to give me just an easy time?
I mean, yes. So
she's like, I was.
I'm glad she didn't put Wishmaster on there.
The two that I actually wanted were out of reach, and I think a lot of people think that at least I was looking through other people's letterboxd list of the best of 90s horror. Everyone's like, oh, 90s is one of the weakest. I could agree. I honestly, I get it now.
Now that you've done the research.
I mean, like I said, when it's good, it's really, really, really good.
Yeah.
Right.
And then when it's bad, oh my God.
Well, I appreciate you giving me the 2010s because I think if I had the 90s, I would have shot
2010s
myself. Like genuinely.
I think the 2010s would have been too hard for me to narrow down, first of all, just because I've seen most of them.
Well, I'll be...
the
80s are hard to narrow down.
The 80s are hard too.
Yeah, but for a different reason.
Yeah, there's too much good stuff. Yeah.
I understand why it's weak, but I'm here to ride for it because I think the stuff that carries it is worth mentioning.
Yeah.
Versus like the 2000s, I don't think are even worth.
I don't think anybody gives a shit about 2000s horror. Besides Jason X.
No, I was just looking it up, but Trick or Treat came out in 07.
It did.
That's one of the few.
Trick or Treat. So you gonna give me 3 more?
I mean, I was just looking up.
Jason X.
Freddy vs. Jason.
Freddy vs. Jason's actually
was
a good
Freddy
movie.
vs. Jason good though?
I liked it.
Oh, Kelly Rowland is fire.
Bro, the improv is nuts. Anyway, all right, so we have...
All right, so we got the 80s now. Berto.
Bro, don't fuck this up.
Your
please.
top 5 horror movies of the 80s.
Also, the 80s were fucking hard to do.
I feel like I'm going to have some beef.
Yeah.
You might. All right, so 80s horror top 5. My first one, I do have The Thing, which came out in 1982.
I do think
that's one of the best horror movies, like genuinely one of the best ever.
I remember you saying that's one where you're like, yeah, that's one of my 5-star horror movies.
Yes.
Which has got to be.
Yes.
Well, I was saying, I told you, I lied to you guys earlier. I actually did watch it the other night.
The Thing?
Really?
The original?
Yeah.
Ooh. What'd you think?
It was fucking terrifying. I told you, why
do
you call it a horror Knives Out?
Right. Because like, I had seen it before, but I watched it again last night, and Garrett actually joined me watching it for the first time.
What are you telling us about
It is just one of the best horror movies that's ever been made, in my opinion.
It's the way it captures, and this is going back to what I said earlier about paranoia.
Yes.
The way this movie captures that is incredible.
Absolute dread I feel watching The Thing is incomparable.
I think it is a different type of paranoia than It Follows. So.
I think it is too.
It is a different type. This is like I can't fucking trust anybody.
It Follows is like you can't escape the inevitable.
Right.
Yeah.
You only can delay it.
The thing is like you can't trust one another.
No, you can't trust one another. You can't even trust the fucking cute dog.
Yeah.
Especially also when you thought you could, and you're like, wait a minute, now I can't trust you, and now I have to trust. Like it's just all over the place.
And the way the movie ends with like just both of them just still not trusting each other,
right? And
it just ends, and you don't know what the fuck happens. Like, oh my god, it's so good.
It's amazing.
It's so good.
And at the time too, it got mixed reviews when it came out because, it was it came out during E.T., another extraterrestrial movie that had,
and people would much rather watch a friendly alien.
Yes, exactly. So people wanted to watch a more happy ending on an extraterrestrial movie. As for The Thing, it didn't have that.
No.
It also, what was out? Oh, Blade Runner was also out during its
which had a similar premise with am I a replicant?
I thought Blade Runner was like, I guess same couple. It was like Blade Runner was 84.
Blade Runner was 82.
Was it 82?
82, yep. And
82.
It was...
So The Thing had a lot of competition when it came out in theaters.
Especially for horror too. It's not horror's never like the blockbuster.
Right.
It's not accessible to everybody.
You know what's crazy?
Blade Runner over
and you know what's crazy?
Sure.
The Thing came out, and even though one of the best horror movies ever, didn't have great reception at the time, wasn't very profitable either, and it actually caused John Carpenter to lose a job for another horror movie with Universal like a few years later.
Which sucks because The Thing is I think it's his masterpiece.
It is. That's
I'm sorry, but it's better than any Halloween movie.
Look,
I'm just sorry.
Look, Carpenter's a goat. Carpenter's my goat.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think The Thing is like magnum opus.
Yes.
Material for sure.
And
for
the
sure.
effects, the music, the effects.
It's
holy shit,
It
that thing is
blows me out of the
terrifying.
water every time. And
Yeah.
I've seen it probably
Like
3 or 4
when
times.
you see the dog transforming, you're just like, holy
Yes,
my
from
God,
the,
bro.
what I was going to say earlier is from the very beginning, I'm absolutely just like, what in the shit
Yeah.
is happening here?
I made sure I did not eat before I watched the thing.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
probably
it's
a
a
good idea.
gross movie.
It is
I was-
disgusting.
I was just
but
like,
I
I'm-
love body horror is the best. I will
See,
say
and
that.
that's the thing, because I'm not a huge body horror guy, but the thing is a body horror movie that I'm very impressed by. Like I
Yeah.
embrace that one.
Yeah. Well, and they made it like very plot relevant
Yeah.
too and
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Not to
It-
just
it
do it
wasn't-
for the fuck of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people are just fucking weirdos.
All right, so we
Right.
got the big one out the way.
Yep. My number 2 is A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
Saw that coming.
It's
Oh, we're
my
in theme.
it's
Okay.
my favorite like classic horror franchise.
Fair.
And again, Wes Craven, he kills it. But like I'm thinking back like at the time, like if I was in the 80s watching this for the first time,
Right.
there's something creepy about a guy going into your dreams and killing you.
My
I
dad
think
said
that's-
he,
even now.
My dad
Yeah.
said he couldn't sleep for weeks after watching that movie.
Yeah. I think I
It's
said
not-
something
that's
similar
ironic.
last time because I was like watching it now.
Watching it now, it's
not
silly.
scary.
Right.
Right.
It is funny,
Little
but
bitch.
I
But
when I
at the
try to picture
time-
myself back, if I was, it's 1984. I'm sitting
Yeah.
in a dark ass
Like give
movie
yourself
theater.
the
I'm
right
watching
context
it. I'm like,
for it. And, yeah.
what's going
I
on?
just finished like Return of the Jedi, and now I have to go watch.
Right.
I'm double
I have to go watch
featuring.
Nightmare on
Yeah.
Elm Street. I'm like, holy
It's like
And then I
in
can't sleep.
concept, it is very creepy.
oh no, for
Yeah.
sure.
And Robert Englund is fucking amazing.
Yeah, he is.
it's crazy how long he's been doing this character too.
I
right? Like,
know.
I
Yeah.
recently saw too that Freddy Krueger only had 7 minutes of screen time in the first Nightmare on Elm Street.
He's never there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
mostly like his voice.
Mm-hmm.
so that could be another
Because I don't even think
example
he's
of
the hand
paranoia.
actor.
Yeah. But like the first kill in that movie where she starts floating up in the air and getting like
Oh
slashed
my
apart.
god, yes.
He's not there.
You're just like, what the fuck?
No, the practical, I will say, even though they get very silly, one thing that remains relevant in those movies is they do have good practical
No,
effects.
it's always well done. Yeah. So
like
they
the
went all
second,
in
the
on
second
that.
one has
Yeah.
great practical effects. The third one, Dream Warriors, has great
Yeah.
practical effects.
Dream Warrior is so weird.
It is.
Dude, I think to your point about practical effects, I think with even how modern our technology is, I think a movie with practical effects
Yes.
will always be 10 times better than CGI.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed.
Like there's so
It's just-
many
oh,
there's so many movies that they need to
just
have
creeps
to
you
stay,
the fuck out.
Yeah, because it looks so fucking real.
I know,
Yeah.
and I hate to be
Yeah.
one of those people who's like, oh, no, I can always tell. I literally can though.
Right.
Yeah.
The
Like in
difference,
Dream
the
Warriors-
difference is very clear.
In Dream Warriors, the puppeteer scene with his veins, bro.
Yeah.
I was literally like clenching my
Well,
arm.
it's like kind of gross.
It's
it is
disgusting.
gross. There's no kinda about it.
No.
It also makes you think like, how the fuck did they pull this off?
Like I
Yeah.
just I feel it. I feel it.
Ugh.
Right?
It's
It's
like
or
But that's what you want.
like
I know.
watch this original and then watch the remake and you'll see how inferior the remake is despite having like
absolutely.
a higher budget and like
Right.
better VFX.
because it
and
makes it more
stuff,
like
yeah.
commercial and
And
kinda
like Jackie Earl Haley is great.
He's great. He's great.
But
He's not the
I
problem.
didn't like him.
No, yeah.
And yeah, it's not his fault. But they were like, and I remember them saying, "Oh, we want to move away from the one-liners for
That's
this."
Freddy
and-
Krueger though.
And they literally gave him one-liners in the movie, even though that's what they were not trying to go for.
it's like what the fuck was the tone you were
Right,
going for?
yeah.
No, the first Nightmare on Elm Street though, like it kicks off like one of my favorite
Mhm.
like classic horror like to get the icons. You got Michael Myers, Jason,
Yeah.
Freddy. Freddy's the one I like.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We can
All right.
tell.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Can you tell?
Yeah.
All right.
Are we Freddy Krueger fans
Well,
here?
we are Freddy. Mine's obviously favorite Michael Myers.
I've never
but
seen it.
Damn.
I just needed a
Damn.
shirt.
Uh,
2 weeks ago. Give me
I
a break.
know, I know. All right.
See me next year.
My number 3. I feel like this one's like if I don't include it, like what the fuck am I doing? The Shining.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never
But-
seen it.
Okay. Okay.
I'm
It's-
bad, man. I'm
Yeah,
so
but
sorry.
you were like,
It's-
oh, I want to watch Doctor Sleep.
You need
Not-
to watch
not
The
yet.
Shining,
Which
dude.
actually-
I didn't realize. I just like Ewan McGregor.
It's a-
Mike
it's a
Mike
sequel.
Flanagan directed that one as well. Actually.
Well, I understand
Oh,
that
yeah.
now because she so
Yeah,
rudely told
it's a
me.
sequel to The Shining.
Yeah. Which I
both
actually
the
liked
book
it.
and the movie,
I just
which
like
is weird.
I just like Ewan McGregor. So I was like, I want
But
to watch it.
The Shining, it's
Me too.
such a well made. It's not the best like book to movie adaptation,
right.
No,
but, it's a
amazing.
very well made horror movie.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why a lot of people who do have qualms with it enjoy the book a lot, and then they go
Yeah.
see the movie. But I didn't read the book, so I fucking
Stephen,
love the movie.
Oh, I
Stephen
never read the
King
book either.
famously does not like this
Right.
movie.
And Stephen,
Really?
or Stanley,
Yeah.
yeah,
Did he
doesn't.
sign off on it?
Oh, I'm
though?
sorry. Fuck Stephen King though.
Well, Stephen King signs off on everything. He's
Also,
like, yeah, do whatever the fuck you want. with my
Stanley
work."
Kubrick is
Oh.
also known for not adapting his movies
he's
much to like the
fucking
books.
batshit.
No, yeah,
that's kind of what you want, though.
The movie's basically Stanley Kubrick's version of the Stephen
That's
King
why
novel.
it's called Stanley Kubrick's.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Which,
Or
going
Vanity.
back to The Thing, we have John Carpenter's The Thing. That was actually John Carpenter doing his own version of
a novel.
50s. It was a 50s movie and it was a novel. The Thing from Outer Space.
Yeah.
So little fun fact there.
Interesting.
But yeah, The Shining is
Jack
fucking
Nicholson
incredible.
was great. One of the coolest things that I got to do out in Oregon when I was out there a few years ago is
Did you get to?
yeah, we drove up to the Overlook Hotel.
Wow.
It was really cool. And as we were driving up the mountain, I was playing the Shining theme.
But you were asking for them
the
to come
music's
get you.
great.
It was dope.
The feeling of not necessarily dread, but like you in this movie, you constantly have the feeling like something's not right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's so.
I have seen isn't it like there's a girl or two girls like jump roping and like
That's
is that
that's
one
a
of the
part
scenes?
of it. Yeah,
it
you see
cuts.
like just weird things in the
Yeah,
hallway.
I have
Yeah.
seen clips
Yeah.
of that.
And also just the fucking pattern of the carpet is iconic.
Right.
Here's Johnny.
See, I think it's like scary
Yeah.
in like untraditional ways as well at the time too, you know, because you just have those like weird fucking shots, like the two guys in the room and it zooms in on the pig mask, and it's like,
Yeah.
I
What's
just feel
happening?
It just
unsettled.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just weird. And then also, I think Shelley Duvall is like a star.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Well, she's also getting fucking beaten down on
Yeah.
set.
Yeah,
So
bro.
she's actually
She's
scared.
fucking losing
Yeah.
When you're,
hair.
$50,000
yeah,
check,
when
too.
you're,
For a woman.
when
Yeah.
you're
like,
watching it, you're like, yeah, she's really in there.
Yeah.
I thought
Well,
she was
great.
She's
going
like
through some
actually
shit.
going through it.
Yeah, but it works.
Red Ram.
I need to see
She
Jaws
forgave
on
him,
this
so
list.
it's whatever.
Oh yeah. All right.
What do you say?
My
I need to see
number.
Jaws on this list. Is that 90s or 80s?
No, that's 70s.
70s.
Jaws?
Yeah.
Damn,
75,
I'm out
boy.
of touch.
My number 4. This is a weird one. This is very untraditional. Halloween 3.
Yeah!
Season of the Witch.
Let's fucking go, bro!
That's
Here's all right.
wild.
Let's
So,
fucking go.
right off the bat, I'll tell you, this has nothing to do with the rest of the Halloween movies. It's its own thing entirely.
This is the Rob Zombie one?
No, there's no Michael Myers here.
This is 82. Came out the same year as
Blake
the
knows
thing.
so much about this movie.
John Carpenter was a busy man in 82, bro.
Why does he have so many movies coming out in 82?
Dude, he was, bro, from like
I don't think
78
he was a
I don't
busy
think he was
man.
busy.
There's no Michael Myers in
There's
this?
no Michael Myers.
No.
So they
I
were
guess I didn't see
trying.
this one. I saw
So
the rest of
I'll
it.
let Blake explain because I think it's his favorite Halloween.
It's the first one. It is my third favorite out of the franchise, but
Okay.
it is slowly moving to like my second favorite of the whole franchise.
What was the second before?
Halloween 2.
Oh,
H2O.
But you know
okay.
what?
You were just going
Not
on.
H2O. What the fuck?
I think this was definitely a misunderstood movie.
Right,
here we
'cause
go.
They were trying to go for more of like what if we just make movies that take place like on Halloween,
Exactly.
and it's just
I
kind
love
of like
that.
their own stories.
And I love that. Obviously, you know, that's why I think we like Trick or Treat as well, because I love when movies take place
Oh, I
around that
love
holiday.
Trick or
Yeah.
Treat.
But at the time, they wanted John Carpenter and Deborah Hill to come back and work on Halloween 3. But the only way John Carpenter and Deborah Hill were going to agree to return to the project was to move away from Michael Myers, right? So they wanted to make it.
Really?
Yeah,
They want to do their own thing.
They want to do their own thing, and they wanted to make it into an anthology series. So the plan was after Halloween 3 that each Halloween movie after that, it would just be a different story, different setting, but based around the holiday of Halloween.
I still wish they did that.
It would
It
have
would
been
have been great.
so cool.
And a lot of people say if they just removed Halloween from the title,
It might have done better.
it might have done
just
better.
call it Season of the Witch.
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. But I love
Because it could be a standalone.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
You know, look, you know what though,
But because
too?
it's in the series, you know
That's
what I
actually,
mean?
that's actually a good point that you bring up though about how like that name could get tainted.
Mhm.
It's like for
Right.
example, Emma has not seen what Jigsaw or Spiral
Yeah,
because of,
fuck
like-
them.
because of like, but like they're Saw movies, like they consider them part of like the 10 because the 10th one's
Right.
coming out.
Right.
That's a good point though. It's like even the new Halloweens, I'm sure people didn't want to watch them because
Is
they're just
Spiral
like,
the one that's like from the Book of Saw
Yeah,
or
the
something?
Book of Saw. Go fuck yourself.
Like it's a fucking Bible book?
Yeah, literally.
But now that they're going back to Saw 10, they're hooking her
Well,
back
yeah,
in.
but they should have like, bruh.
But it's
Because
between the
Saw
first
7
two.
is
Yeah.
like, oh, the final chapter.
Yeah,
My
right.
ass
Bro,
is the
welcome
final
to,
chapter.
welcome to the Friday the 13th treatment. They have Friday final chapter or the last chapter, then they have Friday New Beginnings. So-
Jason Goes to Hell.
Dude, don't even get me
yeah.
fucking talk about that
Jason
movie.
Goes
Anyway,
to Hell.
but on Halloween 3, like this movie, it's so weird because it's not like your typical horror movie. It's like there's a mystery and like a conspiracy that's like unraveling the whole time. Like there's like an evil plot going on. Like the intentions aren't super clear, which I'm fine with. That kind of makes it scary. It's like, what the fuck is this guy trying to do?
Right.
But it's like they're selling these masks, and then like you find out more and more about these masks. That's like unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
And it does a really good job at mixing like supernatural stuff with like industrial stuff with like the commercialism of Halloween
and good practical effects.
Very good practical effects. The VFX kind of suck.
Yeah,
I don't actually think
That's okay.
I've heard of this movie. I thought I watched it.
Well,
it's. I recommend it. I definitely recommend it.
I think this is the last of the Halloween franchise that you can tell just doesn't have that John Carpenter feel to it. I mean, because after this one, he didn't really work. He didn't work on the other ones, but you can tell. Like when you watch it, you can tell even with like the camera work. Like this was the last one that was filmed in a 2.35 to 1 aspect ratio.
Dang, he got the. Okay,
he's a fanboy of this franchise.
All right, this man loves Halloween.
But what's the runtime in this movie? Do you know?
It's
like an hour 40.
Something like that. It's under 2 hours.
But and like the music as well. As you guys know, John Carpenter loves to have input on the music. Even do the music himself. He fucking
he's a good composer.
He's a great composer.
Apparently, for the thing, like he wasn't happy with what the composer did, so he did his own thing with it.
Bro,
but still credited the composer.
Knocked it out of the park. He did the score for the first Halloween in 3 days.
It's demented.
Yeah.
The type of talent that he like.
Why couldn't I be?
Possesses.
I wish I was John Carpenter.
Right? I wish, But you can tell the music wise too. Like this is just the last of the Halloween franchise that just feels like John Carpenter.
That he had input in,
right?
Because I don't think he directed this one, but he did like produce.
No,
I know.
He didn't direct it, but he was there for every step of the way.
He had his hands in it.
Do you think that he like wanted to direct at times? So even like, you think he was on set? And he was like,
I don't even think so. Like, because he was,
he might be that kind of control freak though.
I don't know. He had the Thing come out that year as well.
I think he had his hands all over the Thing.
But the Thing we know now is like really popular,
right.
But it wasn't at the time.
Exactly right. So, but
I wonder if he has like regrets.
I'll have to watch.
Probably
this.
not
I'll
now.
have to watch this one.
I recommend it. It's definitely something different.
It is. It's got its flaws.
Maybe I've seen.
It's got its flaws. There's a love story there that just doesn't belong at all. I get it.
That's my one thing.
That's
is like
the worst part.
The love story is like what?
Like
what?
why? Like why? But there's so many aspects of that movie that I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy.
I'm a stan, bro. It's so good.
I'm a stan.
All right, my fifth one. This one is even weirder, and I might have to defend this one.
The eighth Thanksgiving.
No. All right, it is The Terminator. The first one.
Oh shit! Here we go.
I should have known this was gonna be on here.
So here we go.
I don't know if you guys have seen the first one recently at all.
Within the last year.
I'll say within the last year
It's
too.
structured like a slasher film. The entire movie.
You know, a lot of people have this on horror lists. Like best of 80s, they have the first Terminator on
thank
there.
God for that, because like it's a good one. I think it's one of the ones with the most rewatchability too, just because of like entertainment value.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like I would consider it like a sci-fi horror slasher.
You could stretch that.
What sets it apart more is like there's just a lot more like story and lore going on here.
You know what? I think that actually is true though, because it's kind of like the inevitability. Like this guy is going to get you. He will not stop at anything to get you.
The Terminator is like fucking Michael Myers. Like
he's an incredible villain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
he's like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill whoever gets in my way.
I wish the Terminator was like a horror giant, but he's more of like an action giant, I guess.
T2 turned it into more of an action franchise.
Yeah.
Which I think T2 is like almost the perfect action movie.
Okay.
But the Terminator 1, like the first one, I think it's 100% horror.
There's two things. One, I watched Terminator 1, having seen Terminator 2 from my childhood. I was like, do I have like the wrong movie? Like, why is Arnold Schwarzenegger
the bad guy?
I was very confused. But also, I know you guys aren't like really involved in my niche community, but in the 4K community, the Terminator transfers are like, it is an outrageous thing. They're bad.
Oh, like they just weren't done well?
Like Terminator 2, people are like, is one of the worst transfers to 4K they have ever done in their life.
Like they were lazy with it?
It just doesn't look good?
Basically, yeah. Like basically what a lot of people complain about, like, you know what like DNR is? It's like a noise reduction filter. It's a digital noise reduction filter that they put on it. And a lot of film people love film grain, as you know. So a lot of it does is it like kind of like, you know what I mean?
I'm fine
like,
without film grain, but like...
But it basically just, it fucks with the sound, the colors, stuff like that. So they say that transfer is like terrible though.
Damn.
But it's a good, I haven't seen the second one in a long time, but I was very confused. I was like, why the fuck is it? What is going on?
And it's even got some elements of body horror in it with like, you see like the Terminator
Right.
getting like ripped
Yeah.
apart. He gets the X-Acto knife and just sticks it in his eyeball and takes it
God.
out. It's like, oh my God.
And that really changed things for Schwarzenegger too at the time, because he was in a lot of movies where he was always seen as the hero.
Yeah.
Total
the
Recall.
big,
Actually,
the big
I
tough
was gonna
guy.
say, when is Total Recall?
Same around the same time, bro.
Around the same time. I
But,
think
like,
Total Recall was
you
before.
had the late 70s and the 80s where he was doing like Conan the Barbarian,
Ooh, never
that kind
mind.
of stuff.
1990.
Oh shit.
And at that time, he had never been seen as like the bad guy, and he was kind of afraid to take that leap going into it. But
Yeah.
It fit.
Well, then in all the
Yeah.
other movies is the good guy.
right.
So.
But I mean, it paid off for that
Yeah.
one.
That's
so.
a crazy franchise too. They still making
Yeah,
Terminator
but the
movies.
new,
Yeah.
I think 1 and 2 are the only ones that I consider like good.
2 is
Right.
terrifying too, because the villain in that one is equally as terrifying. I think as the first
Yeah,
one.
but that one does become more of an action romp.
well, yeah, but still terrifying. Just like what he goes through.
But the first one also at the end does a thing that a lot of slashers do, where it's like you think he's dead, but then like he comes back one more time.
you got to double
Yeah.
tap him, man.
Yeah,
Triple tap him.
something that Scream always makes fun of. You know, the whole like they always come back.
Yeah, that shit annoyed me in Get Out. Because in Get Out, remember the bocce ball? He hit him like 3 times. I'm like, he's leaking blood.
Yes,
he is
yes,
dead.
yes,
Fucking
yes.
invincible
And I'm like,
killer
then I'm
trope.
like, because
And-
then when he was at the door, I was like, who's
Yeah.
gonna come up behind him? And
You
it was
know
the
what
fucking
always
son.
like freaks me out too is when you see someone get hit in the head and they like start shaking. I'm like, all right.
Oh, the body twitches.
Take me out, bro.
Bro, how do you fake that? Like,
Take
how do
me
you
out.
like, do they just die on set and they have to revive them like right then and there? Imagine the liability.
I
Yeah,
know.
what are your honorable
My
mentions?
honor,
Yeah,
here's
we
the
saw-
thing. I have
have
a
2
lot.
movies
I'm
for
gonna
you.
have to narrow down my honorable mentions because the 80s just
I
has
mean, you
so
could
much.
just blast through some honorable
Yeah,
mentions.
I could.
Let's just do a
Alright.
lightning round.
Okay, Hellraiser,
Yes.
love it, but like I just love the other movies more.
Okay.
Poltergeist,
Okay.
Okay.
that's an incredible haunting movie.
Sure.
The Evil Dead 2, that's one that I was iffy on putting on
I
the
thought
list.
that was gonna be on yours for sure.
It got bumped off for the Terminator for me.
Yeah.
Last second, by
Yeah.
the way.
It was last
At the
second.
table.
No, not at the table.
That
Um,
table.
I got to put The Fly in there.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have to.
Cronenberg mention.
Yeah, you got to do that.
Friday the 13th. Like,
Thank you.
I can't not mention like the iconic
I appreciate
stuff.
I
you know.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because I'm a junkie. I love
We
that
also
bad
got
shit.
this is are the weird ones where like they kind of fall into like horror comedy a little bit. So it's like, do I include them? And that's I got Fright Night, Little Shop of Horrors, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Ooh, I think that was 70s, though, no?
It was 80s.
Killer Clowns.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
And then Gremlins.
And Gremlins.
that is so
Gremlins.
funny.
Gremlins
Yeah.
is like it's funny, but it's also kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
So Gremlins was really close to making the list.
I appreciate the
Shit, it was
fly mention.
88.
No Videodrome though.
Sorry.
No Videodrome mention.
I have
Just
two,
the 80s is so packed.
I have 2
is.
movies for you.
All right.
The first one, you'll know. You guys should all know. I hope so. But I don't think it's like a great movie, but I don't know. I'm just curious if you've seen it. You ever seen Christine?
Yeah, The Car.
Yeah.
Stephen King. Yeah.
But it was John Carpenter.
What about
Who was
Pet Cemetery? I think that was the 80s.
The original one.
The original.
I
yeah,
thought
the
it was
original one's like
70s.
89.
So-
No, there was a lot of
Yeah.
Stephen King adaptations
There
in the
is.
80s. Yeah.
The next movie
There's
I have.
I forgot about Misery in the 90s too.
Yes.
It's 1990
Oh,
with
yeah.
Kathy Bates.
Yeah.
Damn.
'Cause
But I don't know if that's horror either.
right.
She's just kind of fucking weird, ain't it?
she is kind of weird.
Like, that's basically the entire plot is that she's just like weirdly obsessed.
Mhm.
And like, she is very kind of scary, to be honest.
The second one, I think I've talked to you guys about before. It's not like a great movie either, but I love the story behind it. It's just like goofy as hell. You ever seen Spookies? Spookies?
No.
No.
No?
No.
So, bro, the premise behind this movie is so goofy, but basically it's like this random group of people who should not be together at all. Like they're
Okay.
just different
Mhm.
backgrounds. Like they don't make sense. But they go into this house and like they have all these hauntings. But then the movie was 90% done, and the producer was like a dickhead. So all the actors and everyone just left, and then they had to basically fill that space. So what they did was they added like in this weird fucking controller guy. The movie is so goofy, like you just have to watch it. But it's from the 80s, I'm pretty sure. So I would give it a watch. It's a cult classic, if you will. Very small cult, but it is there.
So you said Nightmare is like your favorite horror franchise.
Yeah.
What's your second favorite in that franchise?
Friday the 13th. Evil Dead.
No. In that franchise of Nightmare.
Oh.
I was talking shit. Sorry.
New Nightmare.
I've been back and forth on Dream
Freddy
Warriors,
versus Jason.
but
Freddy
people
versus-
love
Dream
Freddy
Warriors,
versus
bro.
Jason.
Here's the thing, like at first I hated it. Then I kind of came around and I'm like, it's kind of cool. And I'm like, no, it's fucking ridiculous. So I don't know where I stand
But
on
then
that.
you loved it because it was ridiculous.
New Nightmare is probably
Yeah,
number two.
that's my second favorite.
That's number 2 for
I
me.
need
And
to
that's
watch this
also that's the
franchise.
other one that's like Wes Craven Scream era.
Yeah, no,
type.
that's before Scream, so that's his
Yeah.
first like meta shit.
And
Mhm.
it's
It's good. It's
It is
very
good.
well
It's
done.
good.
Wes
I like it a
Craven,
lot.
the
It-
Godfather of horror.
No.
He's been on our
Oh.
list twice.
He's great.
He's got a one in the 70s, honorable mention, but
Who would
but
be the Godfather? John Carpenter then?
either that. I got another director that I'm gonna mention in
Ooh,
the
70s. So 70s, I'm very blind. I've never seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre or nothing.
we'll get there, but
Okay.
there's another director that I think this is my top
you're
2
into
favorite
your
directors.
Italian
I am.
horror movies.
70s has a lot of like
Ah.
grittier stuff.
Yeah, I think 70s is where European like grindhouse
Yeah.
type horror started.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I mean,
though.
stuff like Suspiria is just like fucking nasty sometimes.
Yeah.
Is that all your rapid fires though?
That was all my rapid fires. Yeah.
Sweet. I mean, yeah, I think you did fine. I think
No, it's like-
Cronenberg,
It's good.
she's happy. Nightmare,
I'm happy.
Halloween, you're happy.
I
Friday,
didn't think
I'm
you would
happy.
mention The Fly, but I'm.
No,
I
the,
think
the
very
Fly's
happy.
probably the one
Gotta get
Cronenberg movie where
mentioned.
I'm like, that's a good movie.
So I
That's
think
the one.
it's the one. Yeah.
Videodrome is like one of my favorites.
I think your list is good, but I think they'll still find a way to dig
No,
holes in
I
you.
think
They're
Halloween
like, "Are you
3 and
serious right
Terminator
now? You
are
didn't-"
like weird choices,
Dude.
but I do like them a lot.
I'm so happy you brought up Halloween 3, bro.
Yeah.
I'm so happy we didn't
I'm
talk
also
about our
happy.
list before, because if we talked about it, it would have been
Yeah.
like aggravating.
No,
'Cause then we
no.
would have known.
Dude, and
Yeah.
I think that Terminator does belong on a horror list.
Yeah,
Thank
the more
you.
you
Thank
talk
you.
about it, the more you
That's-
convince
No,
me.
That's
it's
my
like-
hot take.
It's give the first one another watch and like view it through that lens. Like it is.
It's structured exactly like a horror
Yeah,
movie.
Yes.
you're on to God.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
the man who did not want to go first.
These are my top 5 horror movies of the 70s. And I think the 70s is the golden age of horror. Like that, I think that is the best decade of horror. There's just so
All
many
right.
gems in there. All right. So we're going to start off, obviously, with Halloween. Like, how can we not? That's my fit.
No surprises.
No surprise.
Absolutely none.
You love it.
Look, I love John Carpenter. I love that whole franchise is just what got me into horror in general. So how could I not?
Also,
Even the first one having like virtually no blood at all. Was that weird
the
for you?
theme
I
track
think
is-
that's
It's all about
Really
dread
impressive.
too, isn't
Yeah.
it?
yeah.
the score is
That's really
iconic,
impressive. Score
though.
is
Holy
one of the most
moly.
iconic scores of all
Maybe-
time.
maybe
the
the-
most.
No, that's like it's
Like,
like,
if
yeah.
you hear it, you know what the
Yes.
fuck is going
yes.
on.
And like I said earlier, he composed it in 3 fucking days.
Which is insane.
And some probably
What
some
a machine.
Adderall.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
which
3
is
days. What a machine.
Do you
Ooh.
think though, still on Halloween, that
Yeah.
maybe the legacy of it's been tarnished a little bit with more recent movies?
Honestly, no, because I feel like you could say that about any horror
Okay.
franchise. And,
Sorry,
and
Halloween
each-
Kills is funny as hell. Sorry.
I don't think it was supposed
Halloween
to be.
Kills or Halloween Ends?
Both.
Both.
I forget how many movies there are in
They
this
go
damn
for
You
series.
like kills, but you didn't like ends, right?
Y'all know my feeling on Ends. No, I wasn't the biggest fan of Kills, but then I watched
Y'all.
Halloween Ends and I was like, I really enjoy Halloween Kills. So I fucking hate
It
Halloween
made it
Ends.
better by comparison.
It made
huh?
it better.
But then I think Halloween Kills is literally it to me when I was watching it, I just kept thinking to myself, "There's no way they're not trying to make this ridiculously funny because
No,
it is."
and
I don't
thought-
think they were though.
The overkill that Michael does in that movie is insane.
I love how much killing there is in that
I
movie.
mean, yeah, it's just a fucking kill. It's a kill fest for Michael
Yeah.
Myers. It's just following him around while he destroys everything,
Yeah.
which is cool.
So one thing that we see a lot in the 70s, and I think it really begins this trope in the 70s, is the final girl trope. You know, obviously we have Jamie Lee Curtis, is Laurie Strode, and as I mentioned, the rest of these movies, you will see like more final girls. Like that becomes really a main trope in the 70s that carries on through till now.
We haven't seen it much now, though. I miss Final Girls.
Right?
They don't utilize
it's
it
not
as
much
much.
of a thing anymore.
Like the 70s has my favorite final girls.
Well, 90s were pretty good too. I guess just like
Just in Scream.
Scream.
Only
stuff.
only Scream.
It's true.
I mean, what else? We got great performances by Donald Pleasance as Sam Loomis, which he was actually one of the last additions to the project. I think they paid him like $25,000, which was so out of pocket because the original
Jesus
budget
Christ.
original budget was $300,000. They were like, hey,
That's a lot of money to go to one guy then.
they were like, hey, we really want to get this one guy because they needed someone who had carried a name around town and been in the game for a while. And they're like, but we need to throw a little money at Donald Pleasance.
And he's just gonna go around going, Michael, we can help you.
Right. And I mean, you got Michael Myers mask, could argue.
The way they made that is
yeah.
ingenious. Yeah.
It's a why am I blanking on the name? Kurt.
Kurt. No, he plays Captain Kirk.
Captain Kirk. Yes. William
Shatner.
Shakespeare. William Shatner. It's a William Shatner mask from Star Trek, and they ripped off the sideburns, spray painted it white, and
you got Michael Myers.
Became the most iconic mask of all time.
The most, besides Ghostface, I think the most iconic Halloween costume that you can have. Yeah, they have it. They have that shit at Dollar General.
Yeah,
they got Michael Myers masks up there.
They got everything.
Shout out DG.
Okay, so next I have Suspiria, which is
I still need to see this movie too.
So Suspiria, 1977, Italian horror movie directed by Dario Argento, who my top two horror movie directors are him and John Carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Suspiria is a movie that we watched in film school. And
really?
And you watch a lot of movies in film school, right? So, you have those days where you're just ready to, but you have those days where you're ready to take a nap. And I'm like, okay, it's one of those days, classroom gets dark. Let me get this snooze fest going. But this movie came on and right away it fucking hits me with the score, which is produced by Goblin, an Italian progressive rock band, right? And right away I was like, okay, I'm into it. Because music is probably my top two most important aspects of a movie. It just, I don't know, it does something to me.
I agree.
And it was just amazing. The fucking production design for Dario Argento movies goes so fucking hard. The lighting, the use of red lighting, like how much blood they use.
I need to watch this movie now. You make me like...
It's amazing.
It's so
It's
good.
one of my favorite movies overall.
I'm getting tingly right now.
It's a favorite of Gabe Lewis from The Office.
It is.
Gabe Lewis would probably like this movie.
He mentioned it.
Oh, he mentioned it. That's right. That's right.
Did you watch Did you watch the Luca Guadagnino?
I did not watch the newest one.
I watched it again recently. I mean, this one's still better.
Yeah,
but it's okay.
No, it's good. It's good. Like Dakota Fanning is like plays.
Yeah.
What's her name? Mia. Oh.
Susie.
Yeah. And then Mia Goth is in it. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Okay.
Mia Goth.
Oh,
is
you
in
love
it.
Mia Goth.
No, I do love Jessica Harper as Susie. Like I said, another final girl that I just love.
Oh, she does count as a final girl.
Yeah,
for
she
sure.
does. Hell yeah.
I do miss Final Girls. Now that we're talking about it so much, then you bring that shit back.
But it kind of borders that line too with Dario Argento and Italian horror movies. They're the called giallo films, right? So it's a genre of murder mystery fiction that often contains slasher thriller, psychological horror, sexploitation, and like less frequently, but supernatural horror elements as well.
That's what I mean by when I say the 70s like began the like Grindhouse.
Yes. Just everything about like this 70s era of Italian horror movies, I love. Okay, I'll go on to the next one because I feel like I'll just keep talking about Suspiria. I feel like you could talk about Suspiria for a long time. Yeah, okay. Next one, I'm going to go Black Christmas, 1974's Black Christmas.
I remember when you first watched this, you fell in love.
Yeah, no. So Canadian slasher film directed by Bob Clark, which funny thing about that, he also directed 9 years later, A Christmas Story. So he's got two great Christmas movies under his belt that couldn't be any more different.
A Christmas Story, god damn it.
Right? That's demented.
I know.
That switch up is insane.
Switch up, bro. But again, here we go. Like another final girl movie.
Yeah.
Again, the trope of final girls that I just absolutely love. And this movie was just really unsettling, And you could tell that this movie, as John Carpenter even stated, like there's inspiration there for his Halloween, as well as some other Dario Argento movies, which we'll get to later as well, that inspired Halloween.
He really likes these Italian movies.
Yellow's good.
Dude, they're good. But yeah, starring Olivia Hussey as the main girl Jess.
She's also in Romeo and Juliet.
Yes. Margot Kidder stars as Barb as well, and as we know, she becomes Lois Lane in the Superman movies.
Yeah.
Your boy John Saxon as Lieutenant. He's always a lieutenant, bro.
He's fucking awesome in everything
he was great.
He's in.
He was great. But again, it plays on that aspect that I really enjoy with horror movies, which is like the fear of the unknown. It's just like you don't know what the fuck is going on, and it's like the sorority house that starts to get these anonymous calls from this just fucking psychopath over the phone committing these horrendous acts that we hear just over the phone. Like we don't see anything that's going on. We're just hearing it and our imagination is taking us there. So I really love that when a horror movie really pulls that off. I also think it has one of the best shots in a horror movie, when it does a zoom in shot of just his single eye in the crack of the door frame, and all you see is the eye. And I think it's one of the best shots in a horror movie.
That freaked you the fuck out, right?
I think it's one of the best shots in a horror movie. So there you go, Black Christmas.
All right.
Nice.
Next, we shall go to Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Of course. It had to be there.
That's like a 70s staple.
Yeah, it is a staple. Really.
It's also just, is it incredible or what?
It is. I mean, just the setting alone. You grew up in Texas a little bit.
Yeah.
But, and I got some family in Texas.
No, and I've been to like those areas of Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're fucking creepy.
The incesty ones?
It's not necessarily incesty.
You kind of like,
it's not Alabama.
You drive through them. You don't really stop.
Yeah.
You just drive through them.
But it's like at night, there's no light.
Yeah. I think when I was in high school, my favorite part about Texas Chainsaw is that it's all a commentary about vegetarianism in the meat industry. I would use that bit all the time on people who liked it around me. Yeah,
no, they were cooking up some like weird looking meat in the beginning of that movie. Yeah, It really doesn't make you. I was actually eating chocolate ice cream during that movie, and I got really.
I would be sick.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta put this down.
There's in one of the horror nights years, there was a Texas Chainsaw House.
It was scary.
Really?
You go into the last room.
There used to be Saw houses too.
You go into the last room, and it's like the pig.
Yeah,
and you smell it.
Oh.
They did the smell, and you're just like, what the fuck?
That wasn't that long ago.
That was a
few years ago.
It was the same year that they did the Beetlejuice house. It was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, no, that shit was scary.
What?
Yes.
What?
Uh-huh.
That sounds awesome.
I know.
Do you want to?
Horror Nights is great.
Do you want to hear a callback real quick to
what?
So remember when I told you I worked in a haunted house?
Yeah.
I was Peter Pan.
Yeah.
So we had. You'll see. Just wait. So we had I guess like a manager of the house, basically just like walk around, make sure everything was good, et cetera, et cetera. He had a Grinch uniform, but didn't come in time.
Mm-hmm.
So he was actually Leatherface, walking around with all these haunted fables. He was Leatherface, and he loved, what he would do is like he would try to scare other people.
Mm-hmm.
So what he would do is he would love coming up to me because he would take his chainsaw and just ram it into me, and I would just flail and like just let him just like basically do whatever.
Oh my god.
Not like that.
Were you abused by this man?
No, like he was.
No, and I was terrified of chainsaws as a kid. So
I know, right? And there are so many iconic scenes of
and
when she's in the like front seat of the car, like through the.
And yeah, once again, Marilyn Burns as Sally, another final girl trope. So we really need to see more of that. I mean, I like we're seeing more of that with Mia Goth and X and Pearl and. You're amazing.
Yeah,
we'll see Maxine.
I'm excited for Maxine.
Me too.
It's like the third one in the series.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that setting just really does it in.
That middle of nowhere,
sweaty Texas.
Yeah.
Grimy. Disgusting.
It makes me sweat.
Right? I'm sweating right now, boy.
Last one.
All right, last one, number 5. Actually a movie that I watched recently, and it's Deep Red.
Earlier today.
Wow. Deep Red, earlier today.
That's actually pretty big.
No, I know.
Is it Italian?
Yes, it is Italian.
It's his best collab movie.
It's a Dario Argento film again, Giallo film.
Bro, imagine he made a movie with John Carpenter. You would never recover.
It'd be the fucking collab of the century, bro. Again, just another, murder mystery. You don't know, you don't get that reveal to the very end. So it's another like psychological thriller as well. Once again, like, bro, these Giallo films, the production design goes so fucking hard, especially with Dario Argento, and like the music collabed with Goblin once again. So, I mean, it's got everything there that tickles me once again.
How can you not?
I know.
Put it
I don't
in your
know.
top 5.
I love these Italian horror movies, bro.
Do you have any honorable mentions?
I do. I have a lot of honorable mentions.
There's a few that I'm going to be upset if they aren't in your honorable mentions.
A whole other side.
Oh, he's got 70s was packed too.
Oh, this is why I think 70s is the undisputed champ of horrors. Like, there's just so fucking many. So those are my top 5 of the 70s. Obviously, some people are going to be mad that I did not mention some, so I will give some honorable mentions.
I am curious.
So, honorable mentions, we'll just start off with The Exorcist. I know people are going to fucking flip.
No, that's like, besides Texas Chainsaw, that and Exorcist are 2 of like the ones, those are the it movies. Those are,
Have you guys been to Washington, D.C. before?
Yes, I have.
Have you been up the Exorcist stairs?
I have not.
You did, right?
Yeah, I have. I went. It's in Georgetown. You know the scene I'm talking about, right? Where she throws the pastor out the window and he's rolling down the stairs? Yeah. It's in Georgetown. So it's like right outside DC, kind of.
Okay.
And I walked up them because I'm a nerd, so I was looking up like stuff to do. We were like, go check out the Exorcist stairs. They are steep.
Have you seen The Exorcist?
Nope.
Oh,
Damn.
it's
But
good.
I saw the clip though.
It's a disturbing movie.
Hey, the new one's coming.
It's really, really
Really?
good.
It's okay, Exorcist.
Another honorable mention is going to be Carrie.
Of course.
Okay,
Oh,
Carrie's
Yeah.
good. Carrie's
that's
good.
actually
I
think
was
that's
gonna like really
Another
hurt
Stephen
you if
King
you didn't.
classic.
that is a movie I
Carrie.
have
A
seen.
Brian De Palma film.
Yeah.
Great supernatural movie.
Remake was not that great, but
See, that's the difference between practical and CGI. I feel like.
yeah.
They're all going to laugh at you. I remember that strictly like when I was a kid. My dad always watched that one. I just remember that scene a lot. Bird with the crystal plumage. Another plumage. The bird with the crystal
Yeah,
plumage.
it's a good one.
And okay, yes, I'm gonna have to give it a mention as well. Alien.
Thank God.
Yeah.
That was the one you were waiting on.
We were
Yes, I'm like,
waiting.
God, I hope you at least liked Alien.
My
Jesus
favorite
Christ.
is actually Prometheus. Actually,
I-
I'm just kidding.
yeah, I was about to be like,
I was trying to tickle your funny bone.
no, Alien is.
I do like Alien.
That's
It
the
was-
one
it
I
was
would have
really-
had
yeah.
beef
No,
if you didn't
it's
mention
right,
it.
yeah.
It's terrifying.
It is. It really
Yeah.
is.
The first one is you said this early, like before too. It's the
Mhm.
only one that is actually a horror movie.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, it's
That
kinda-
shit
it's-
had my bones
'cause
shaking.
Just like with Terminators, like with the second one, it's like, all right, this is an action franchise
It's
now.
kind of
Yeah.
like Predator too. Predator turns into that kind of. It's more of like.
Yeah.
It's
'Cause
not
the-
as like as horror esque.
Yeah.
It's just
I
more
will
like
say
gory action.
the newest Predator movie, Prey, that one's pretty horror esque.
I haven't seen that one yet.
It's
I
very
do
good.
want to mention one more movie. I don't think it's up there with these other ones as determined like quality, but I feel like I should mention it just because it is a very unsettling movie, and that is The Last House on the Left,
Okay.
which
Good one.
is
Yeah.
Wes Craven.
Mm.
Wes Craven's the
So
guy.
that's 3 decades he's been a part of BT
Yes.
Dubs.
So made on 2 paper clips
for sure.
for sure.
Maybe one.
Maybe one. But
Mm,
it was just
one and a half and,
And a
and some
six-pack.
fake blood.
the plot, like
The script is phenomenal.
script-
Wasn't there some controversy where
Yes.
like people thought that like people needed to know if the actress
yes.
was okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty consistent in the 70s because I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Cannibal Holocaust also came out in the 70s,
Mhm.
and if you like, I don't know if anybody else knows that movie, but it's like a horrendously
I know of
like
it.
yeah extreme gore movie, and they
Yeah.
actually got taken to court
'Cause they're
over
like,
the movie
is this
because
a
they were
snuff
like,
film?
you
Yeah.
need to prove to us that the actors
Right.
who participated in this are alive because
crazy.
they thought it was a snuff film.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But is it really a movie if you don't have shit like that going on? Like, let's be real. You know?
I mean, I think it means you
was
made too good of a
fucking-
movie.
it was fucking wild. Like
No, Last House on the Left is fucked.
it
up.
was fucked. Like I just got enraged watching that movie. But again, the tonal shifts in that movie were so fucking weird, and like the music choices, I'm like, am I watching a fucked up horror movie or am I watching a sketch comedy skit from like SNL in the 70s? Like
That's really fucked up still.
it was so weird. And like the music choices, I was like, yeah, what? And the acting too. The dads, it was like those typical American commercial mom and dad that you see on TV baking, having a good time,
Until
honey.
they're not.
Yeah, until they're not. Until actually, yeah, come to really like them towards the end of the movie.
Wow. What I love about that movie and even the remake is that
Yeah.
it becomes like a reverse slasher movie almost.
Yes, yes, I do see what
I
you're saying.
think this podcast actually been really good because I'm actually kind of like want to go on a binge of horror movies now.
I do have one.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Or actually two that you
Okay.
didn't mention.
Okay.
The 70s is stacked.
It's
Mhm.
so stacked.
The Omen.
Yes, okay.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not on your honorable mentions, which
Don't
I think
watch
is a
the
crime.
remake.
Don't watch the no. You have to watch, what is it, 76 maybe?
Yeah, it's like, 76.
Yeah.
And then Faces of Death, which might be
Okay.
not very
There was a few-
most people's speed.
I don't know if that's a popular one,
No,
but
it's
it
not.
is-
It's extremely probably. It's actually like
Well, there's also
hated.
Dawn of the
but
Dead.
I thought it's great.
Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, there's also Dawn,
Dawn
of the Dead.
I
Another
need to
one
see
that
that
I
series.
didn't get around to watching was Jeff Goldblum. It's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers or something like that.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
Yeah, it came out in 78.
Okay.
That's
So that's
78?
another one that I saw that I didn't get
I
around
don't know that
to.
was 78.
Yeah.
Me either.
So that's what I'm saying. Like 70s, I think is so stacked. Like I know I'm already set on getting a horror sleeve for my leg for tattoos, but I'm like, damn, I might just make it a 70s horror sleeve, bro. It is
You gotta do a
stacked.
different.
I mean, you
decade
can
for
still
your
get Michael
arm.
Myers in there, so you're good.
I know, right?
As long as you just maybe just have one exception for like Ghostface.
I gotta have Ghostface. Yeah.
So just do a horror sleeve in general. Then.
Yeah,
Like
I
your
will.
horror icon.
Oh, I will.
Get
Yeah, it's pretty-
get Pinhead on there. You haven't seen
Pinhead-
Oh
tattoos
yeah,
are
no, I haven't seen
cool.
Hellraiser yet.
Hellraiser's. It's very weird.
You like it though.
I do
Yeah.
like it, but
Or we
it
could-
is so
Or
fucking
what about
weird.
Hellboy?
Oh boy.
Hellboy's great.
That's a solid. I mean, from what I can tell, you seem really enthusiastic.
No,
Yeah.
I this is definitely the decade that I'm most enthusiastic about. I fucking absolutely love the Final Girls, like in all of the movies that I
I
mentioned.
have to agree with you.
I thought of another 90s one real quick
What?
for Emma. Mars Attacks.
Whoa!
Oh,
I forgot.
Is that even
I
a-
genuinely forgot.
What is that? Like,
shit
is that action horror though?
No, it's like
Or
horror comedy.
comedy.
It
It's
is
like a-
horror
it-
comedy.
But
It is
it's
a
like,
hybrid
but it's
and a
so
half.
it's also like
iconic.
disturbing though.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Who directed that?
What's his face? Tim Burton.
Tim Burton.
Oh my
That's
God.
what I was thinking of.
It also
Big
made me.
Fish.
That just made me think of remember that video game like Invasion from Mars or whatever? Do you remember
No,
that?
I think you're thinking.
What's it called?
I know.
Destroy All Humans.
Destroy All Humans.
Yeah,
Yes.
Destroy All
yes.
Humans.
Destroy All Humans.
Yeah,
That game
it's
was
very
fire.
similar
The game
in
is,
tone to
the game is
that.
goofy.
There
It
was
was
also
goofy
a
as hell.
pinball machine called like Attack from Mars, and
That's
that was,
yeah, they have it at
Yeah.
fucking like Arcade Monsters.
fuck yeah, that's my favorite
It's
pinball
good.
machine.
So
I
there
like the
you.
Elvira one too. Oh, you also forgot Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Whoever has 80s.
Oh, true. She's like a sex icon though.
She's so beautiful.
But I should have put the Babadook in mine.
yeah.
That
Or
one's good.
Is it Babadook or Babadook?
Babadook, the Babadook.
The Babadook.
Skeleton Key 2000s.
Mm,
Skeleton Key's not that good.
No, it's not. It's not.
Take it away, Mr. Host.
Yeah. Anyway,
So there you have it. There's our top 5 movies from each decade that we chose from. Each decade really does have its highs.
yeah.
Some has its lows more than others. I won't say 2000s, which we didn't even pick. But overall, I think horror, like, we could just sit here and talk about it for literally hours. It's just such an amazing we have. But I mean, even longer, bro. It's such an amazing genre, such an like, as all art subjective as well. So everyone has their own opinion. Like me, Halloween 3, fucking love that shit.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna go home and watch.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, right. So we're definitely gonna have more horror episodes to come for this spooky season, man. 2020s. Do we think it's going good so far? Before we cash out,
I think so.
any favorites of the 2020s so far?
Ooh,
I mean,
favorites.
I think Nope was a big.
Nope is
For a lot of people.
amazing.
I
Like
like
X.
Nope a lot.
Nope is
Beau
good.
is Afraid was wild.
Smile. I'm just kidding.
Remember what horror movies I've watched?
You need to shut the
so
fuck
far.
up.
Trying to think. Yeah, what has come out for horror movies? I guess with COVID,
Barbarian.
COVID was kind of.
Barbarian was good.
Barbarian.
Us also came out in 2018.
Morbius.
2019.
Oh my God, Berto said Morbius.
When did Malignant came out in
God damn it.
2018 too, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That
That's
movie
not
was
2020.
that sharp. That could be
Malignant.
an honorable
And you know what's
mention.
fucked up about Malignant too?
What?
It's the fucking Saw. It's James Wan.
Bro, he's
Saw,
like
Conjuring. Why do you have your
Aquaman.
hands and Aquaman?
Berto,
Why do you have your
Aquaman.
hands all over
Oh,
everything?
I thought you meant horror movies. I was like, what are you talking
No, I'm
about?
talking about James Wan.
Yeah, I hear you. But you know what it is? He's teetering from like drug to drug. He's
Yeah,
like, I want to
think
try
so, too.
this. Malignant. I want to try this. Aquaman.
Aquaman.
I want
And
to try
then I
this.
guess-
Conjuring.
I guess Midsummer should be up there, and then The Lighthouse could be considered a horror
You're
movie.
naming
That's
2010s.
like
I don't think so.
psychological
What are you talking about?
Why are you
horror, I
naming
guess.
2010s?
Oh wait, what?
2020.
Lighthouse is 2019.
Is it?
And Midsummer's
And
like
also
2017.
Oh,
Oh
2016.
shit. Okay, so 2020s.
Yeah,
I was totally
2020s.
missing the mark. Then these aren't in
Invisible Man
yours.
was 2020, right?
Invisible Man, I think it was 2020 actually. Invisible Man was
that
good.
one I liked.
That one was surprisingly good.
I think it was good.
I enjoyed Talk to Me a lot.
That paint scene was.
Talk to me.
I know Emma's got some beef with Talk to Me, but
She likes it. She thought it was. It was like what
there was
expectation.
No,
or
well-
delivery.
Oh,
My
I
problem
mentioned
is
it already.
that I think the trailers for horror movies always look so good.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is so interesting. So with Talk to Me, I saw the trailer while I was waiting to see another movie, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I have to
Mm.
see this.
A24.
It's A24.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Australians got some sleepers as well.
Apparently, because it won a bunch of awards at at a film festival in Australia before it got licensed in the US. But I went to see it, and it's literally a Ouija movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Do you think you
is.
should stop
Yeah.
watching trailers then, or do you think? I
It's
guess it wasn't your choice to watch it.
Yeah,
though,
well,
but-
that one was forced upon me.
I really like the performances
Just close
of
your
it.
eyes.
I like the performances.
I
of
liked
a
it
lot.
too, but also I've never
Well,
seen.
people are like creaming their pants over that
I have
movie,
a-
though.
I have a
I've never
banger
seen a
one.
more unlikable main character in a long time than Mia in Talk to Me.
I think that's. I
She
don't know if that's the
fucking-
point, but I
It's not. I don't know if it's the point, but
don't know.
I thought the plot was kind of stale. I think that they started a lot of things they couldn't finish. I said all this
They
already.
didn't.
I
They
think.
did
But-
wash over some things for
Yeah,
sure.
but I mean,
Yeah.
overall, it's super okay. That's just
Okay.
how I
Two of-
felt.
You're gonna like this one I have
What?
for the 2020s. I'm talking
Okay.
about She Will, but if you guys have seen, it, I don't know.
Okay.
But Bodies
Oh.
is a
Pete Davidson.
It is a good.
I
Have
haven't
you seen
that
it?
one.
I haven't
no.
seen
Horror
it. Is
comedy.
So it is a horror comedy, but it is a very
Okay.
much. It's.
I mean,
honestly,
I'm on board with
you
those.
know what though? It's a modernize The Thing.
Really?
If you will, it's like it's a whodunit. Like no one can trust each other.
Yeah.
They're running. And I'm being satirical, right? But I'm saying like.
Does it hold a candle to the thing though?
No.
No, so
Okay.
it's really cool because so it's like a who done it, and also
Right.
the way they light the movie is
Yeah.
I love. It's like kind of like The Witch where
It's
they only
really
use candlelight or they
Okay.
only use like the way they illuminate and
Hmm.
talk about each character, even though they don't talk that much.
Okay.
I love it.
Two of my favorites of the 2020s easily has been X and Pearl.
X and Pearl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course.
High West is really doing a good job with that. Do you like X or Pearl more?
I like Pearl more.
I like X more. But that's just I love because it has a very like Texas
has that
Chainsaw
Texas
feel.
Chainsaw feel,
Yeah,
yeah.
uh-huh.
I think Pearl I liked because it's
know-
more of a
Bro,
it's like a fucked up character study.
yeah, and it's
I
like a
liked
horror
that.
Wizard of Oz shit, bro.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it has like
yeah,
a
yeah.
Wizard of Oz feel to it. If anyone's seen it too, like that scarecrow scene in the beginning,
Mhm.
I thought it was very. I don't know if I'm weird for this, but it was like also arousing at the same time.
That's what I think that's the
Okay.
point.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see
If you've
because
seen it, you know
I
what I'm
mean,
talking about.
Yeah.
from what I've seen about Maxine, like the description on letterboxd or whatever, it's like Maxine takes the big city. Like
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
whole
It's like she's going to LA
thing. Yeah.
after.
So I really want to see how it turns out. So I hope
Yeah.
it's a solid like
I
trilogy.
hope so too, because I was really
moment.
impressed with like just how different the vibes felt.
Yeah, and
from
all
X
the
to
effects in
Pearl.
X are practical too.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
it's
So,
really
that's
good.
nice.
which
And-
is always impressive nowadays,
I gotta watch
especially.
X.
and Mia Goth, you know. So
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question then.
Yeah.
So we're at 2023, almost 2024.
Yeah.
Do you think that like this could be a really good decade for horror, like potentially better than the 70s? And then my follow up is can you ever think the 70s will ever be surpassed, or is the space so saturated that you think that?
I think maybe like in my heart it can't be passed, but also at the same time it's really hard to look at these movies right now and say that it's going to be better because a lot of the
Yeah.
movies that we mentioned, they didn't get its recognition until
No,
years later.
like The
That's
Thing.
fair.
Like The Thing.
That is
And
fair.
So it's really
Halloween
hard to
3
say.
still hasn't gotten
I
its
guess I'm just-
recognition.
Oh, it
I'm guessing.
hasn't.
I guess I'm just asking. Do you think? Are you like hopeful for 2020's like horror output?
Ooh.
I am. I mean, I think it's
so.
also a good
I think,
start.
I think we've had some
Yeah.
good
No,
movies.
I
yeah.
am too because I have to
Horror
give credit to a couple of 2020's horror movies as well. Evil Dead Rise
Okay.
was
Mhm.
so fucking like it towed the line so well between like the cheesiness of like Evil Dead
Uh-huh.
and like Sam Raimi type
I
movies,
still need to see it.
and
It was
like
a lot of fun.
and there was some like genuinely like creepy scenes in there too. Like it did a really good job with that.
It's kind of like I guess Evil Dead the remake was kind of just horror in my opinion.
I think mostly, yeah. Like there was a little bit less campiness in that one.
So that's because I don't think that movie has a lot of rewatchability to be honest. Like I watched it once and I was
I'll
like,
say the old ones
I'm
definitely
good.
do though.
yeah, but that one I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is terrifying. I
Yeah.
can't sleep tonight. I will never watch you again.
What was
and
the other
then,
one?
We have I mentioned it earlier, the newest like movie in the Predator series, Prey,
Oh yeah,
because
That got a lot of
it takes
praise.
it back to like
The roots.
you're being hunted by this thing
Uh-huh.
and it's fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
That was the one.
And you got to like learn to fight back.
that
and-
one should have
yeah.
been put in theaters.
I know
Yeah.
it came out like
Wasn't-
directly on Hulu.
on Hulu.
Yeah.
wasn't which one? Which the one I'm thinking of? Where it's like I think it's like the first Predator or something.
Where
but it's
they're
like
on the island.
no, it's like I don't know if it's always indigenous people, but it's like I think it was like Native American.
That's
fucking-
Prey.
That's Prey. This is the one.
That's-
and like
yeah.
Oh.
and like it's the one where they like all the actors like speak that language and they subbed it
Yeah,
in.
that's Prey. Yeah,
oh
Yeah.
yeah, that
you
one
watched
was
it?
yeah.
Oh.
it's good. It's
Yeah.
like a good movie.
That's why I was because I remember watching one of them and I was like I liked it a lot because
Yeah.
they were talking about I watched the behind the scenes too of like it's so cool how they do all the effects.
Mhm.
Those
And the
effects.
guys-
I love it.
Yes.
And there's so much more BTS content now too.
Oh,
which is
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
because they're a lot more open about sharing it.
Yeah.
You do have to
Yeah.
appreciate like older behind the scenes. stuff.
Right.
Oh, it's always
I love
awesome.
behind the
Have
scenes
'em.
stuff.
Just
It's-
like it
it's
always makes me
creepy.
think like, damn, I wish I was that talented.
I know.
But you know what though?
How do you think of shit like that? Like if you didn't have somebody to show you before. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Also,
We all gotta
watching-
find. Everyone has their own certain thing they're
Yeah,
talented with.
but
you
also
know?
watching behind the scenes, I realize how awkward making movies actually is.
Oh yeah.
how
Oh,
it
yeah.
can be. Yeah,
It is
It's
very
horrible.
awkward because you're watching it and you're like, when you're watching, you're like, damn, I'm sucked in.
yeah.
But then you're like, damn, you have this in front of you and this and this and that,
Yeah.
and like all these people watching you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actors are insane.
So I
And
watched-
I
I
mean,
watched
You have to be
sometimes-
able to play pretend really well.
Sometimes you don't even know these fucking people. You just met them, and
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
a bad reference, but I will Not saying.
I think I'm most excited for in the 2020s. I think I see people, at least in theater, like big blockbuster movies that have come out more, leaning into surrealist types of horror. So Ari Aster obviously just had Beau's Afraid come out. That was kind of, at the time when it was coming out, it was the smash hit of the time.
Okay.
It's fucking weird. No, it just came out.
Oh, wait, what's one I'm thinking of that, like, oh, Birdman. I'm thinking Birdman. I don't know why.
Oh, Birdman's great too.
Birdman's good. Yeah. That's a weird ass movie, but it's good.
It is weird, but I'm saying like they're leaning into it more, and then fucking David Cronenberg's son makes movies now. So he just had his first wide theatrical release was Infinity Pool, which was also incredibly weird but really fun.
Was it like a bit much?
It was a little. So
also,
it was
Cronenberg is a bit much though.
It always is. I mean, he's just like his daddy for real. It's disgusting. It's bloody. It's weirdly sensual. It's good.
Stunting like his daddy.
Well, cool.
All right, so I think that's gonna do it for this episode. If you've made it this far, you're a trooper. Thanks again for listening. Make sure to give us a review and a rating wherever you've been listening to. Apple, Spotify, Amazon Prime, you name it. Once again, go give Emma, Jaden, Berto a follow on letterboxd.
Hell yeah.
Honestly, if you want to find them pretty easily, you can just go to my profile if you follow me. Like go to my letterboxd and just go to who I'm following, because I don't follow like too many people.
You're famous now.
Oh yeah.
You'll find Emma, Jaden, and Berto.
It took you a month to follow me back, by the way.
No, it didn't.
I swear, I followed you and I was like, "Yo."
Really?
I had to harass you and Garrett.
I never asked Garrett because I don't really care.
I'm gonna go harass him at home.
All right. Well, after this episode, we're all gonna apparently go harass the co-host Garrett. But yes, thank you again for joining, and we will be having more horror content on the way. Film Bros will be back for another episode. Do we know what next episode is going to be yet?
We'll talk about
it.
When
it is or what it's about.
What it's about.
We have no fucking idea.
All right. Well, we'll get there. We got some time for spooky season. Hope we gave you some great horror suggestions. And if you're not that into horror, hope it has encouraged you to go watch some horror movies.
Hey, if I learned anything, just don't be a bitch, and they're really enjoyable once you get over that.
Yeah, once you get used to it, just dive in. You'll be okay.
End of the world.
The water's fine.
It's a movie.
Yeah.
But they're really good. I am really intrigued now.
Thanks again, Film Bros, for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Also, another plug, films from the Phantom Zone, Berto and his co-host Arnaldo.
Yeah, that's me.
And we'll see you guys next time on Blake's Takes.